Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. I see the pre-stream chat. I see none of you having any faith that I'll ever be on time ever again, which is probably a safe bet, but it still hurts. It still hurts on the inside. Oh my goodness. How are you guys doing today? I will have you note something. I will have you note something. I am still using my same camera. That's right. I'm still using my same camera. And that is part of why I'm pissed off today. I'm going to have like the whiniest show. It's great. I can't wait to do it. I have been assaulted and accosted by minor annoyances today. All over the place. Just little things. And it's the little things. I don't know if this is true about you. But like when something big goes wrong, you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, I gotta address this problem. I can get through this. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna get into an action plan. I'm gonna go, you know, like I've got to cut some things back here. I've got to change a schedule. I got to get things worked around. But when something little goes wrong, it's like not a big enough problem for you to invest in. So it just sits there and it just gnaws and jabs at you all day and it just pisses you off. Yep. That's, just, oh man. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about my annoyance, today, which is several things. The other stuff we're going to talk about is, this little LoLsuit that's brewing against H3H3. I'm probably not going to talk about what you think I'm going to talk about. I've seen R.W. Bimby. Can't remember how to pronounce it. I've seen him talking about, you know, there's a clip of H3H3 saying something, and then there's like a walk back of that clip where he says it's not just a joke, bro. I'm not going to really talk about that so much. We're going to talk about something else in regards to the LoLsuit. We're going to look at the complaint. It's not super long. It won't take us very long to go through. And we're going to see what's going on. And we're also going to look at their little press release. We're going to do that. We'll do that pretty soon. I'll probably whine about my day first as people come in so that we get people in here for the H3H3 stuff, because I think that's going to be the main focus of the show. Oh, we're going to talk about Joe Biden's new little puppets. I don't know if you saw this. He got some ventriloquist dummies made of some people. One for him and one for Jill Biden. And they have their hands planted firmly up the ass of the dummies. So we're going to talk about that. We'll probably briefly talk about Chauvin filing for a new trial. today. There's not a lot of details on it. And I did a video about what they might be filing pretty soon. I did that yesterday. So we'll talk about that. I've got some other stories saved up. Rick Scott's apparently an Oreo. A Democrat, I guess the chair of some county Democrat party in Texas called Rick Scott an Oreo because he thought that would be a good idea. Tim Scott, not Rick Scott. Sorry, Tim Scott. Tim Scott. Rick Scott probably is an Oreo. But Tim Scott. Okay, my apologies. I didn't mean to offend. Is Tim Scott is Rick Scott a golden Oreo? Who's Rick Scott? Why do I remember that name? Let me see. Rick Scott. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Rick Scott's the guy who looks like Oh, that's just that's unfortunate. Yeah, Rick Scott. Rick Scott's the former governor of Florida who was talking about how he's all pro Second Amendment while he put what the Oh shit. Joe, what are you doing? Sorry. I was watching Good Logic's video on my phone and he must have just ended the stream and then it went into the next video on the list and was playing very loudly. But yeah, Rick Scott's the guy who was like at CPAC, he's like, we got to save our guns or whatever. And it's like, bro, you put two of the biggest gun restrictions in Florida's history on the books. You signed them into law. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Apparently, Tim Scott, not Rick Scott, is an Oreo. Rick Scott's a golden Oreo or an EL Fudge or something. Tess Holiday. I can't even say it. Between bites of cake, Tess Holiday announced that she was anorexic. No joke. No joke. Everyone in the world with anorexia should have teamed up to fight on a scale of justice against Tess Holiday. They still would have lost, but they should be pissed off that she did that. They should be infuriated that this fat monstrosity is out there like, I'm anorexic. I mean, no, you're not. No, you're not. And if you are, good. You could be anorexic for 10 months and you'd still be fat at the end of it. Try anorexia out for a little bit, please. Do the world a favor. Oh my gosh. Ugh. It's an insult to people who have actually dealt with eating disorders. Like, it's not even funny that the media is just like, oh yeah, she's got anorexia. Can't you tell? No, you can't tell. Is she hiding it under a fat person? What is that? She does not have anything even close to resembling anorexia. She might have body dysmorphia. She might have a negative body image or something like that. Probably because she weighs as much as a city bus. If I had to guess, that might be the reason. But people with, there are real people out there with anorexia that have real issues. They're in real danger of dying. It's like that doctor on My 600 Pound Life, where the big fat guy's sitting there and he's like, well, I can't eat. I don't have an appetite. And the doctor says, you think this is a problem? You not eating is a problem? It's like, lady, you could go decades without eating. Oh. Oh my gosh. Woo! So anyway, we've got some stuff to talk about. I'm going to start drinking some whiskey here in a minute. I've been told I'm supposed to drink Rittenhouse whiskey. John Doe, no, not next time eat a salad. Not next time eat a salad. Next time, skip the meal. And then the next meal and the next meal. Like the guy on Bring It On, the little like guy who came in to advise them on how to be a better cheerleading team. And you don't eat. Just stop eating anything. Oh my gosh. Oh, don't eat a salad. For you know what a salad looks like for her, right? Like 3 lettuce leaves, a whole bottle of ranch, and then covered in cheese. That's how she got there. Look, I'm eating healthy. Oh my. Oh. Get a flatware allergy. It'll help. Okay, I'm supposed to drink Rittenhouse whiskey, but I'm gotta try this port cask finish Aaron malt today first, and then I'll probably switch over to the Rittenhouse whiskey. So we'll get to that in just a minute. I gotta cleanse the old palate. Yes, the Supreme Court rejected a case over Clarence Thomas's soul descent, and it was a case involving the Ferris Doctrine, which is one of the weirdest doctrines that exists. Is terrible law when you get to it, and prevents otherwise legitimate lawsuits based on a silly rule. The Ferris Doctrine says that if you are part of the military and your claim stems from military service, the Federal Tort Claims Act prevents you from suing. So a woman who is in the military who alleges sexual assault by an officer can't sue because she's in the military, and the Federal Tort Claims Act prevents you from suing to recover for your sexual assault. Now, I mean, whether or not she was sexually assaulted, that question won't ever be answered by the court because they say you can't sue even if you were. Okay, that makes sense. That's a good idea. It's that doctrine has been that way for 50 years. It was a bad ruling when it came out. It's a bad ruling today. But that being said, you know, that's an interesting bit of news. A lot has happened. So why don't I start pouring whiskey and telling you guys why I didn't stream yesterday, why there's no videos today, and why I was just angry, mildly angry for the whole day. Minor annoyances. I have taken it in stride. That's probably about to change as we get liquored up. But it all started Friday. Ooh, this smells better than the other one. It all started Friday. Or it might have been Thursday night. I can't remember. Either Thursday night or Friday. Lady Rackets chipped a back tooth. Just chipped off and it was jagged. So we needed to go to the dentist. Or she needed to go to the dentist, right? I didn't need to go to the dentist, but I was going to bring her to the dentist. Now, for reference, our dentist for Lady Rackets and I is 2 hours away. We have a local dentist for the kids, but, you know, we only go like once a year or whatever to go in, get our checkups, and we like our old dentist from when we lived in the Twin Cities, and we've kept him. We've kept him for the past 12 years that we've lived out here. Never changed dentists. Like the guy. when you find a good dentist, it's like you want to keep a good dentist. So, set an appointment for this morning, and went last night because we would have had to leave super early this morning to get down there. So we went last night and stayed the night. Just she and I. We had a babysitter here with the kids. And that's why I didn't like to talk about why I wasn't doing a stream, by the way. I don't like to announce if I'm not going to be home and my kids are going to be home. Like, that's just part of being online. So, I don't always like to say why I'm going to be not available. But I took her to the cities because I know that if she has to get Novocaine, or if she has to get gas or whatever to get her tooth fixed, she might be uncomfortable coming back and probably wouldn't want to drive back a couple hours by herself. So, I went with her. Well, we get there today and the dentist says they need someone else to look at it. And that person could get us in at, 2:00. Okay. So we were planning on being home around 2. But the dentist said, you got to go to this other person. They'll get you in 2:00. Oh, not a big deal. Not a big deal. We just have a little more time in the cities. We go do some shopping and stuff like that. Now, my camera was supposed to come today by noon. And so I told the babysitter, hey, there's a package coming, needs an adult to sign for it. If you could just go ahead and grab that when it shows up, that'd be great. That'd be great. So we're in the cities, driving around, and let's see. What's the first thing that goes wrong? Oh, so between the 2 appointments, right, I get a message from Keemstar. Inviting me on to Mom's Basement podcast. Him and FaZe Banks and someone else do a podcast. It's a Spotify exclusive podcast. I don't know how big it is, but I'm guessing it's a big show because it's Keem and it's FaZe. And so they asked me to come on to talk about the H3H3 thing. And I'm like, hell yeah, that sounds fun. When can you have, when would we record? 5 p.m. Which I should have been home by 5 p.m. And now it's 1:30. Okay, 2:00 for the appointment. That's going to be pretty close, but I could probably do it. So I just got to check in on this thing. So we get there at 1:30. To the other person and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry." Or no, they said everything's ready. Everything's ready. It'll be 30 minutes. So they send me to the car because of the COVID. And with the coof going on, you can't sit in the lobby because someone will die, apparently. So they send me to the car, don't worry, she'll be out in 30. They didn't even take her back into the room until 3. So that wasn't going to happen. The worst part of this is we're right by a sushi place. And Lady Rackets isn't going to be able to eat because she's about to have dental work done. So I'm like, oh, well, cool. I could just go get sushi. And they're like, well, it'll only be a half hour. So I'm sitting in this damn car just waiting for the inevitable announcement that she's done. And then I finally get, they haven't taken me back yet. And then at 3, I'm in the back. And then at 3:20, the surgeon hasn't even come in the room yet. I could have eaten a bunch of sushi or anything. I could have gone to Buffalo Wild Wings after eating sushi. So then, finally gets done. And it's like, okay, well, I guess we gotta come home. But that's okay. So I told Keem, I'm like, sorry, man, can't do it. I'm not going to be home. Not going to be able to record in time. So thanks, but can't do it. So get driving. Everything's fine. She's okay. That's the most important part. And I'm like, at least when I get home, I'm going to have this cool camera to play with. That'll be fun. Get my camera. So then I'm driving home, and I go, I stop at this place where I get sandwiches, Nelson Brothers on 94. They make really good sandwiches. It's yummy. So Lady Rags is basically asleep in the car, and it's about an hour. Of course, another thing is because we had to leave like at 3:45, we hit evening traffic. So that's annoying. We would have missed the traffic if we could have left by 3. But that's how it goes. So I stop at Nelson Brothers to get me a sandwich. Nelson Brothers makes their own bread. They make their own bread. It's really good. Comes in this big, like, circular loaf, right? And then they cut the slices. It's not like a pan loaf, like a loaf pan of bread that you'd normally get. It's a big circle thing. And so if you get like just the right spot on it, you get this huge sandwich, like big fat slice of bread. And if you get there late in the day, you get a little measly piece of bread. But here's the trick with bread, okay? No matter what bread on earth that you have ever seen, when you're going to make a sandwich, you take 2 slices of the bread that are conjoined right next to each other. You pick up those 2 slices and you open them like a book, because to do anything else is stupid. And if you've ever done anything other than take 2 pieces of bread and open them like a book, you're wrong. You should probably be fired and get on the wall with all the child aficionados. I'm done with it. Just open the bread like a book, because then it matches perfectly all the way around the crust. No matter what crust you have, it's impossible for it to not match. You can't not match it because it was next to each other, and a knife is the only thing that's been between that piece of bread and the other one. But the guy goes like this, not like this. He goes blah. And so then I have this little weird piece of loaf. Now, this is a rounded loaf thing, so you get like this big piece of crust that goes like that. And normally the bread would come together, but instead you've got this gap, like you're trying to make a joist or something, and it makes your bread do a Pac-Man thing when you're holding the sandwich. This fucking guy, it's so easy to make a sandwich. Anybody knows how to do it. I was so mad. It's like, why would you do this? Because then I get big, thick sandwiches, right? Like meat and vegetables and all this stuff piled up. But then when you got this little flappy thing in the back, like a paper clip, like one of those bracket clips, and it's sitting there doing this. Yeah, stuff's falling all over the place, and I'm driving. I hate whoever made that sandwich. I'm sorry. It's like, I didn't know until I get in the car either. Of course, I can't sit there and instruct him on the proper way to make a sandwich. Hey, idiot, just open it like a book. I know you've never seen one, but maybe just like that. That's all you need to do. That's really good. This port cask finish is much better than the that whatever other one that was. Holy cats. That's way better. Yeah. All right. So I'm frustrated. We're driving home. And we get home. Kids are all good. Babysitter's like, yeah, everything's fine. I'm looking around. I don't see any boxes. So I said to the babysitter, I'm like, hey, did that package get delivered today? And she says, no, they didn't get there by noon. And she had to take the kids to go do an activity like by 1 o'clock. And they came at 12:50 while they were gone. So now they're coming tomorrow. So then I'm just like, my excitement is immediately ruined. So then I don't have my camera to play with. So then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go to the store then to go pick up this prescription for Lady Rackets. So I go to the store and I go and I've developed a lactose intolerance, right? So I have to get non-dairy milk. I've been drinking this Simply almond milk with vanilla in it. It's pretty good. They were out of that too. So my entire day was just these little stupid things. Not soy milk. I don't like almond breeze. No, the Simply almond with vanilla is the only milk that's good for dipping cookies in. The only almond milk I've had that's good for dipping cookies in. Try raw milk. Yeah, it's still dairy. So anyway, long story short, all these little things that I can't fix or do anything about were plaguing my entire day, and I hate it. I hated everything about it. Z-Star Fairlife tastes like garbage. It does not taste like regular milk. It's bad. I've had it. I don't like it. It's trash. My dad drinks it. No. Gross. Oat milk is weird. I know almond milk ain't milk. I can't drink milk. Well, I mean, I can. I'll just fart like crazy. I'm not a fart streamer. Anyway, let's do super chats and then let's talk about let's talk about this H3H3 shit. So thank you for dealing with my neuroses and being my therapist for the evening. I really do appreciate that. I had to vent and get that off my chest. Lady Raggeds felt bad about the whole day. I'm like, it's not your fault. You didn't do any of this. Oh, I also, I went to the Burnsville Mall, which is where Drex and I used to play Tekken. Spent a lot of hours at the Burnsville Mall as a kid, right? I used to work at Circuit City right across the street. So I'd do lunch breaks at the Burnsville Mall. It is empty. It is empty. I mean, probably 40 to 50% of the stores are closed. It is wild. I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, the mall in my little town here, I mean, it sucks, right? But it's always sucked. And it was like, we're just walking around. There's nobody in there. Stores are all closed. The food court's empty, of restaurants. You see one guy making food for the one person who's in the food court, yeah, our business won today. It was so weird, man. I don't know what to do with that. It was unsettling to me. Again, because I grew up in that mall. It was always full. But yeah, we were just trying to kill some time. Do malls still have arcades? Sort of. They're garbage. They're the worst thing ever. This one had an arcade. It was about the size of my vault. It had like 4 games in it, and all of the games were boring. It was so weird. So weird. I don't know what. I'm a capitalist. I love strip malls. I love big malls. I like seeing little businesses. I like seeing chain businesses. I like seeing businesses everywhere. I don't want a forest. I don't want trees. I want to see businesses all over the place. Screw green stuff. Businesses are funny. That's why Houston's my favorite city on the planet, even though I don't want to live there. Because when you drive around in Houston, it's just millions of these stupid little crappy businesses. And you just think about it and you're like, someone is carving out their reality in this business. Like Houston especially, because it's not a bunch of chain businesses. It's a bunch of weird mom and pop stores, and you have no idea how they're getting by. I love it. I love it. Like I genuinely, it makes me sublimely happy to see that stuff. And that's all, it's all being undone. It's all being undone. I don't like it at all. Even the Cinnabon was closed. How do you close a Cinnabon? What racist person closes a Cinnabon? Probably that Rick Scott guy. All right. Let's do these chats. Sorry for my tangenting. RZEQDW says, a toast to my fortunes. Date got postponed but went well. She RSVP'd to a thing I'm organizing next week, so she is clearly not planning to ghost me. Have I finally made it? Follow up in Discord. I'm not buying 2 chats. Save your money for the dates, brother. Cheers. Cheers. Glad to hear things are going. Hopefully they continue going well. Let me finish the cheers with the drink. All right. So when I last left you, I was drinking this Aaron malt with the Sauternus cask finish. Trash. Garbage. Don't like it. Not worth $97. It just tastes like I drank cheap white wine after the whiskey's gone. I could just drink cheap white wine and get the same experience. Don't buy it. Now this one, however, same price, Aaron malt, port cask finish, much better. Much better. The aftertaste is a pleasing Scotch whiskey with a little bit of that sweet, heavy, rich port taste on it, but only a little bit. It's not overpowering. It's good stuff. I like this a lot. Okay. I just saw one of the chats. You know what? I deserve it. Random Blaze says, tonight has to be movie night, Nick. No, tonight would be game night. Movie night would be Monday and Wednesday. Tucker and Dale versus Evil has hit Prime Video for watch parties. Ooh, that's good news. A lot of good movies hit Prime this month. Mr. Bentham says she identifies as anorexic, Nick. Come on, man. Yes, the Tess holiday. I'll show you anorexia Tess in just a minute. Oh, wait, no, it is. It should be a movie night because I had to push the Thursday movie night. Shit, I'll have to figure that out. The gray one says, evening, Nick, please take my dosh. Look, always. Hope you've been mostly well. Yeah, I've been great, aside from minor inconveniences. I had a rough day. Found out an aunt I was close to passed away from cancer. Not even 12 months off my grandmother who raised me passed. You know the gray one? That is a very sad story. And I'm going to raise a toast to your lost relatives. But I want you to consider something. Did someone open your sandwich like this? I don't think so. I don't think so. So in the scheme of things, I'm being respectful to your aunt and your grandmother. I will pour a toast of this lovely Rittenhouse whiskey. But I want you to keep in perspective That your sandwich was probably made book style. Okay? So, but in all seriousness, buddy, cheers to your loved ones, of course. All right. Moving on from that. Jonathan Ferrier says, I have some breaking news that will cheer you up, or at least Mrs. Ricada. Japanese researchers have discovered that men with larger noses tend to pack larger penises as well. True facts. True facts. Music and Fiction says, watching Nick raging over bread is golden, pure gold. In other news, mayor of Sandy, Oregon, and 2 civic organizations file federal lawsuit against Governor Kate Brown. Once I get the paperwork, I'll send it down. Might be fun reading. #nom. Oh, thanks, buddy. Uncivil Law has dropped some chats. He says, camera jealousy is not a good look. Lol, 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 lol. You stop it. And he also says, who is a YouTuber with a good camera? Not you. Lol, 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 lol. Don't be jelly. Some of us look good on camera. Yeah, you know what? You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. You see this guy? It's his fault I bought a good camera. It's his fault entirely that I bought a good camera, and then it doesn't even come in. William Foley says, the first world has really beat you up lately. Yes. Yes, it has. Finally. Someone has recognized it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Okay. But we've got to do something first. We've got to do something. I'm sorry. I know, like going through my Twitter feed isn't the most fun thing, but there's some important stuff on my Twitter feed. And we got to talk about this. Won't take long, and we've got to do it. There's so much. When I go a whole day without live streaming, especially when it's a Monday, which follows 2 days of not live streaming, there's too much. There's too much. Now, surely, some of you saw this tweet. I said, imagine you're working on your physics degree and this is your professor. Her book chapters, including The Physics of Melanin, Black People Are Luminous Matter, and The Anti-Patriarchy Agender, show her focus at the intersection of astrophysics and particle physics, and at the intersection of physics and Black feminist thought and anti-colonial theory. I've got the article in here. Someone asked me what it was, and I'm going to pull it up. Can we even show that on YouTube? Here it is. It's from this article. Black physicist rethinks the dark in dark matter. This is a real article. Theoretical physicist Shonda Prescott Weinstein, who explores the structural oppression of the scientific community as one of the themes in her new book, advocates for making the night sky accessible to all children. A starry night at Yellowstone National Park is shown here. So this is Yellowstone. Oh, it's beautiful. Wonderful. Great. When many kids were running around playing tag or video games, Shonda Prescott Weinstein was thinking about particle physics. After her mother took her to see A Brief History of Time, Errol Morris's 1991 documentary about theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking, she fell in love with the discipline. She was just 10 years old. Now, nearly 30 years later, she is the first Black woman to hold a tenure-track faculty position in theoretical cosmology as an assistant professor at the University of New Hampshire. Listen to all those qualifiers that exist, okay? She's the first Black woman to hold a tenure-track faculty position in theoretical cosmology as an assistant professor at the University of New Hampshire. That's pretty specific. Prescott Weinstein is one of the country's few core faculty members of both physics and women's and gender studies departments at a higher institution. In her new book, The Disordered Cosmos, A Journey into Dark Matter, Space-Time, and Dreams Deferred, Prescott Weinstein invites readers into the universe as she sees it. And as a self-described queer, agender black woman, she sees it differently than many people. You know what? Drop the class. Get out of the class. Get out of the class. You're not going to learn physics. You're going to learn something else. She might know physics. She may be able to teach physics, but she is incapable of teaching physics, if you know what I mean. She can't do it. Her agenda is more important than her field of study, and that is a problem. That is much more of a problem than any of the problems she's going to bring up, because you are paying thousands and thousands of dollars to take a physics class, not a gender studies, racial sensitivity class with physics undertones. But that's what passes. That's what passes for this. In uncivil law, you could stop your demands. I was just in the middle of a rant. You could shut your mouth. I'm gonna read your little super chats or whatever. Uncivil law says a new camera cannot improve the quality of what is not there to be seen in the first place. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm not gonna read your chats. Take that. Parad0807 says, have some money from Doge. Fuck the IRS. I'm not going to pay any taxes on this. Hashtag taxation is theft. Don't worry. Joe Biden already told us if you make under $400,000, you're not going to pay a single penny of taxes. All right. So this is the thing I just read about her book chapters. Her book is a tour of particles like quarks and leptons, as well as the axions that Prescott Weinstein specializes in. But it also explores the various structural oppressions that affect who get to study and discover them, and even who gets to name those discoveries. Are you ready? I'm only going to read like another paragraph of this fucking article. She points to terms like WIMP, weakly interacting massive particles, and its relative macho or massive astrophysical compact halo objects as examples. You can tell that physicists love an acronym, she wrote, and that the physicists who came up with WIMP and macho were almost certainly men. Fuck you! Go away. Women and people of color, she notes, are routinely left out of histories of science, despite their important role in the progress that white men are credited with making. Prescott Weinstein asks us to consider how science would be different if scientists were from more diverse backgrounds, and if it incorporated indigenous scientific knowledge and voices. Well, I don't know. It sure would be interesting if physics incorporated indigenous scientific knowledge and voices. We could then hear about how the Thunderbirds bring the fucking seasons along, couldn't we? Wouldn't that be great? What a fantastic scientific contribution that the indigenous Thunderbird theory of meteorology would bring to the hard sciences. But actually, Dat Boy O'Reilly brings up an excellent point. it would be the same, because the answers that we have and related to the physical sciences are the best answers we are able to find given the amount of technology and thought capital we have put into it. That's it. That's what science is. That's what science is right now. It's the best ideas we have about something given the amount of thought capital and literal capital that have been put into it. No more, no less. So having indigenous voices, we might change the name of WIMP to something else, I guess, maybe. Who knows what acronym they would have come up with? It doesn't really matter. We would have the same underlying physical theories, because no one has been able to really credibly undo Newton in the practical sense. Now, I know in three-dimensional space, Newtonian physics can break down at a microscopic level. I get it. I'm not that good at math, but I understand the theoretical aspect of physics, and it's one of the minor pastimes that I used to have, so I get it, okay? The Pythagorean theorem breaks down on a 3D geometry as well. It doesn't matter. For practical aspects, those laws of physics stand. Even if all the underlying laws and our understanding about how those laws work change, that won't change that they've been laws forever, because they explained 99.9% of our experienced reality. Refining and changing those isn't going to undo anything. And Newton's been around for a really long time. So then, of course, they go ahead and interview her. I don't want to read the interview. It made me want to jump off a bridge, which indigenous scientists would tell me that I would simply fly off to the spirit realm rather than crash into the rocks below. So, you know, there you go. So there's that. That was today. Some people were asking about what that was from. If you saw it, I saw it. It made me laugh. It was so stupid. I had to tweet about it. I wanted to briefly mention it on the show. Next, we've got I got a couple things to comment about. That's all. Here we go. I'm going to put a trigger warning on this. Look, if you've eaten in the past day, I suggest turning away. Too late! Haha! Vomit, suckers! Tess Holiday reveals she is anorexic. Plus-size model says she is healing from an eating disorder after years of punishing her body. I mean, this is it. This is reality now. This is reality. We all just accept every fucking lie that comes from any news source. We just accept it. We just go, you know what? Okay, nothing means anything. Because why would it mean anything? Why should it have to? Guys, by the way, I look like Chris Evans. Ladies, I've got Chris Evans' muscles, and fuck you if you disagree with me. I'm recovering from an eating disorder. She opened up about her eating disorder on social media over the weekend in response to her growing frustration with people commenting on her weight. People were saying, hey, Tess, you look like less of a fat giant blob. Now you've downgraded to only going to die tomorrow levels of fat. And she's like, stop. I'm struggling with my anorexia. as she shoved an entire walrus into her gullet. The plus-size model and a positivity activist says she is not ashamed to say that she is anorexic and in recovery anymore. You're not in recovery. You're not in recovery. You recovered 2 people ago. When you keep breaking scales, it's not because the scales are afraid to tell you their weight. It's that you exceeded the weight limit. You've destroyed them. You have to be weighed at a weigh station where trucks go. You have to pay the extra wheelage tax. Because you always come in heavy. She added that she is now able to care for the body she punished her entire life and is finally free. Oh, yeah. Guys, just letting you know that if you only eat oatmeal cream pies covered in smashed Twinkies, that's caring for your body. That's it. That's how you care for yourself. Just dip them in gelato while you're at it. Tess explained in an Instagram post that she lost weight while healing from her eating disorder, and people have been encouraging her to lose more. They want you to not die. You can't fill a swimming pool with cream and then empty it. Like, you can't do that and live. You're going to die, you obese, diabetes-riddled AIDS monster. What are you doing? Why are you like this? Why are you teaching? Some little kid is actually going to stumble across Tess Holliday and go, oh, that's society's definition of beautiful? I'll have 35 Big Macs, please, for my appetizer. Like, that will actually happen. We have the fattest fucking kids in America. Go to a water park and you will see a 4-year-old with no neck. You will see a 4-year-old with no neck. And I'm safely betting that my advice to go to a water park will guarantee you'll see a 4-year-old with no neck. You'll see a 5-year-old boy walking around in a shirt because he's so fucking fat that his parents are ashamed to let him go shirtless in public. Also, because it would violate the rules at the pool of showing breasts. Like, go to any water park on Earth and you will understand, in America. I don't know about on Earth. I haven't been to any outside of America water parks. Go to any water park in America and you will understand immediately the obesity problem in the United States. There is more swimsuit fabric at a water park at any given water park in the United States than the entire bikini factory for Victoria's Secret. These kids are so big, and they should be put on a treadmill with a Nintendo Switch dangling in front of them forever. And like, that's what should happen. And instead, because I don't want the kids to die, okay? I'm not fat shaming. I'm life encouraging. I'll fat shame them when they're adults. When they're kids, it's their parents just giving a bag of chips after bag of chips. It's horrifying to see. It's horrifying to see these kids. And they're going to look at this and be like, oh, I can look like that. There's going to be high school and college age girls who think that it's okay to be 700 pounds. No, it's not. You're going to die. You're going to have pregnancy complications. One of them will be trying to get a man to find your vagina. 2 will be all of the problems you're going to have if you actually get inseminated. And dear God, it's bad for you. And then you're at risk of dying before your kids go to high school. And you're being told it's okay. It's not okay. We have never in the history of humanity looked like this. Ever. Like when you go back and talk about fat in the Middle Ages, It's like a woman being 150 pounds. Okay? And remembering all the guys in the Middle Ages, like, topped out at 5'9" or whatever. A fat guy was like 220. That's a big 5'9" guy, right? Like, that's a big dude. But it's not anywhere near what you see at the average Walmart today. It's insane what we're doing. We're just lying to people. We're just lying to people. We have never in history been this sedentary. We have all of the medical technology in the world. We have the best potential nutrition, at least in first world countries, right? We have the best potential nutrition of any time in history available to you anywhere that you are. You're not eating dried corn that you saved up last November before the snows came, right? You're not doing that. You're not having to boil your corn for an hour anymore because you could just go literally any day of the year to in any town, to any grocery store and buy an ear of corn that's been fresh from somewhere. Anywhere. You can get carrots at any time of the year. Celery, potatoes. Like, the Irish should be reveling in this. You can get healthy food literally within minutes, no matter where you are in the Western world right now. And the Western world, particularly America, the farthest west, has the fattest people on the planet. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like, I'm not going to begrudge people for being moderately overweight, but this is not moderately overweight. And this fat bitch lies about how much she weighs. That's the worst part. She lies about her weight. She knows that it's wrong, but she tries to pretend that it's not. Tess explained in an Instagram post she lost weight while healing. Yeah. The mother of two. Mother of two? Did she eat them? Urge them to stop, saying it's triggering as hell. No. Do it more. Tell her to get healthy. Ugh. Gross. Disgusting. All right, real quick. Oh, this is fun. This is short. Here we go. Yep, volume's on. Whoops. Sorry, I have the wrong audio output. Just a second.
The reason I'm bothering to do this is I keep hearing on the press Biden's going to raise your taxes. Anybody making less than $400,000 a year will not pay a single penny in taxes. And we will not increase the deficit either, unlike the last gigantic tax cut, which increased the deficit by $2 trillion. It's about balancing the system and growing. The reason I'm bothering.
Are you looking at the hand signal person's face? That's the winner of this whole thing, is this weirdo's face. Check this out.
To do this is I keep hearing on the press Biden's going to raise your taxes. Anybody making less than $400,000 a year will not pay a single penny in taxes. And we will not increase the deficit either, unlike the last gigantic tax cut, which increased the deficit by $2 trillion. It's about balancing the system and growing. The reason I'm bothering to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, by the way, that's just not going to happen. I won't bring this up on screen, but you guys saw that Rage Against the Machine was apologizing for the CIA. That was nice. Good job. Rick Scott's an Oreo. We talked about that. I got an ACLU thing up there. We don't need to cover that. Let's get... No, this is the last thing. Sorry, this triggered the shit out of me. So Ken Paxton says, fake news, New York Times strikes again. Let me be clear. I support Greg Abbott, Texas. He's a great governor and a great Texan. Elena Plott, who interviewed Ken Paxton. Ken, why are you doing an interview with the New York Times? Anyway, says, hi, Attorney General Paxton. During our interview, which is on tape, you would not commit to supporting Abbott in his primary for governor. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the New York Times didn't say he wouldn't commit to supporting him. He said he refused to support or said he would not support Abbott, which is not quite the same thing. But here's the simple answer. Here is the simple answer. Release the tape, you cunny. Just release the tape then. Stop with this pussyfooting around. If you've got the tape and he says the opposite, release the fucking tape. Why are we still doing this? Just release the tape. Stop. Why would you cover for the politician? That's the big question. And then just go ahead and release the tape. I don't understand this. Oh, well, we have the tape. Then put it out on the internet. Here's the problem. I bet it doesn't say quite what your article says, does it? You're inferring in the article, and it's not what he said, and he called you out on it, and now you're like, well, we have it on the tape. Well, then put out the tape and prove him wrong. Just do it. Am I wrong? Am I weird on that? Am I crazy for wanting the tape? Just put out the tape. I don't care. Like, Ken Paxton has been pretty good against suing Biden a whole lot. But other than that, I don't care about him. If he's lying, I want to know. Release the fucking tape. Okay, Gabe Claufred says, I studied physics. I thought, if anything, physics would be the one thing that remained untouched by this junk. Sunset me now. No, buddy, nothing is safe. Nothing is safe. The Reaper comes for us all. And the Reaper is wokeism. Jose Ganales says, hey, Nick, I just got a great call. My offer for the house I'm going to buy was approved. My first home, closing the deal on the 27th of May. Yeah, buddy. Get it. Own something. Own something. This is America. Own something. Congrats on buying your first house. Angry Bellsprout says, recently got suspended from my 1099 job. HR is doing investigation toward my inappropriate comments and personal questions, flagged under safety. They refuse to tell me what I supposedly said, but they want me to defend myself. What the fuck? Deny everything. If they won't tell you what you said, you must not have said it. I did not say whatever it is you think I said. And if you want to prove I did, please let me know what it is. But I didn't say it. No, thank you. Jason McConnell says, alive to the story of a South American soccer team found crash in the Andes, all dead of the diabetes after eating the stewardess. No. Jess Holiday, the stewardess. Oh, that's horrible. All right, let me find this H3H3 document. I've got it saved on my Google Drive. I'll just grab it real quick. Oh, I should probably pull up the Triller offer here, because the Triller offer is really, really important. Here we go. All right. So if you don't know what this is about, there was a fight recently between Jake Paul and Ben Askren, a boxing match. It ran on pay-per-view. It was one of the biggest pay-per-view events in a while, I think. It was huge. I don't know if it was one of the biggest. It was huge, though. It's huge. Millions and millions of pay-per-view orders. Maybe I think I heard 2 billion, but I don't know if that's accurate, okay? It was a giant buy. It was also an absolute garbage fight. Absolute garbage fight. So, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Bunch of people bought it. Now, I want to say something real quick, because I've seen a lot of shit about, Jake Paul is a YouTuber, can't be a fighter, whatever. I don't buy into that like this, you got to be a fighter from when you were like 10, bro, to fight. Yeah. No, you really don't. You really don't. You just got to put in the work. And if Jake Paul's been I don't know if he has, but if he's been putting in the work, like people shitting on him for going out there and fighting, I mean, that doesn't make much sense to me. Now, if you're going to shit on him for getting like too high of a fight card early on, may I point you to Brock Lesnar, who got way bigger fights than he deserved. Way bigger fights than he deserved. However, Brock was actually putting dudes down. He really was. This has been going on forever. If you've got a massive money draw, they're gonna get big fights. And this whole, you got to put in the time to be a fighter. No, you got to put in the marketing to be a fighter and in high profile. That's what you got to do. I'm sorry, but it is still business. And I will forever, because I think Brock Lesnar got accelerated way to the top of MMA very, very unfairly for other fighters. But Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of some good fighters. But he went up way too fast. If you were Brock Lesnar, but not Brock Lesnar from WWF or WWE or wherever he came from, if you were not him coming up through MMA, it would have taken him 3 to 4 years. He might have actually gotten his career-ending medical condition before he got to a title fight, if he were a regular guy. But he got accelerated right to the top. Right to the top. And also, I will say that Brock has no hands. All he has is big, intimidating wrestling, and that got him really, really far. Doesn't have hands, though. But anyway, so I'm not gonna like shit on Jake Paul or whatever. I don't care about Jake Paul fighting. Yeah, if you've got the ability to draw huge crowds, someone said it was the fifth biggest pay-per-view boxing event ever. I mean, social media has power. Jake Paul pulled in huge money. Of course he's going to get a good fight. So don't shit on him for being Jake Paul. Shit on the fight for being bad. Bad fight. Ben Askren put up an embarrassing show. He probably should have trained harder, been more prepared for it, or not taken the fight because he's not a boxer. Any of those things would have been good. But, you know, he took the fight, probably made a bunch of money. Whatever. Anyway, this is all background story. James Marone, I know he did real wrestling in college and was a D1 athlete. A lot of guys did real wrestling in college and were D1 athletes and would still take years and years and years to get to the top. I'm not comparing him directly to Jake Paul, but if it wasn't for his pro wrestling career, he wouldn't have moved up in MMA as fast as he did. And there's not really any argument against that. He got accelerated because it was profitable. That's not a bad thing. Making money is how more people get into MMA. And that's how they make more shows and do more fights and make more money. Okay, anyway. So, the stats about the fight. I did miss Tina's super chat. Sorry. Tina says, Nick, no matter how many cameras you buy, it won't make your nose look smaller on it. Rude. Lost Bullet says, come on, Nick, even the Canadian has a better camera than you. How embarrassing. Who, you? I don't know about that. Are you talking about Viva? I don't know. And Jason of the Great Awakening says, I see the Great Awakening is proceeding to plan. Keep up the good work, champ. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to talk about the merits of fighters. I'm just explaining that business decisions are business decisions. Allegedly, there was a whole bunch of piracy of the Triller fight. All right? A whole bunch of piracy allegedly occurred. Now, did a bunch of piracy occur? I mean, almost undoubtedly some did. Was it as much as they're saying? I don't know. I don't care. But Triller says that a bunch occurred. All right? So here we go. On April 23rd, 2021, Triller Fight Club filed suit in the United States District Court for the Central District of California against certain parties who participated in the unlawful sale, distribution, and or viewing of the April 17th pay-per-view event known as the Triller Fight Club, Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. Under U.S. copyright law, each of those parties may be liable for up to $150,000 in fines. Not likely, but may be, under the statute, penalties and damages for each occurrence in their unlawful acts. For a limited time, ending June 1st, 2021, those individuals who unlawfully viewed or displayed the event, but were not otherwise involved in its illegal sale or distribution, are eligible to receive a one-time settlement and release for their unlawful acts, subject to providing the information requested below and making a payment in full of US $49.99 via this portal. So look, if you unlawfully stream this fight, just go ahead, give us $50 and we'll call it good. Just call it good. That's what they say. Now let's read on, because what they say starts to get a little bit weird in my opinion. But you know me, guys. I'm just a boomer. I don't know anything about tech, so let me see what the chat thinks of this, all right? By providing the payment and information requested above, you are entering into this settlement and release, which will be binding upon you and enforceable against you under applicable law. You may or may not yet be identified as a defendant in the suit to which this settlement and release pertains. You are advised to retain your own counsel prior to entering into this settlement and release. And yes, you should, by the way. First of all, do not do this. Do not do this. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm giving you practical fucking advice. There are two parts of the copyright statute. There's one for civil penalties and one for criminal penalties, and Triller cannot release you from criminal penalties. So going in, admitting under oath that you are settling your illegal download and distribution of Triller's property is putting on the record in court that you committed a federal crime. Probably not a good idea. I don't know. Maybe check with an attorney in your jurisdiction to see if you should accept that. It's not my legal advice to you. It's my practical fucking advice of not admitting to crimes in court documents. Jesus Christ. If anybody has done this, they are flat out idiotic. Do not do it. But let's keep going. You agree that your entry into this site and provision of any information requested herein is being done voluntary and entirely at your discretion. You agree that you clearly understand all the terms and conditions of the settlement and release. What are the terms and conditions of the settlement and release? Because they're not actually clearly laid out in a real way. Neither you nor your counsel have relied on any representation, warranty, or statement by us in your decision to access this site, except for the one that says that you give them a release. Like, that's a statement that they have to rely on to actually enter into this agreement, you dummies. Triller, you can't put that they didn't rely on any representation because it requires them to rely on a representation. It is necessary to the function of a unilateral contract, which you're trying to do, but not doing very well, because they have to rely on your warranty statement and representation that you will release them from civil liability if they just pay the $50 and give you the information. Can you see why this is a problem? This is a big fucking problem. Nobody should be doing this. Triller's attorney seems to be an absolute snake, and we're going to talk about why in a minute. Spoiler alert, This entire lawsuit is fucking bogus, regardless of how stupid Ethan Klein is. And Ethan Klein appears to be a human waste of a blob. I don't like the guy. I don't care about the guy. If he got run over by a bus tomorrow, I'd hope he lived through it, but I wouldn't shed a tear either way. He doesn't matter to me. But this is a bad lawsuit. This is a bad lawsuit. Okay? And it has nothing to do with Ethan Klein. Everything about it's bad. This lawyer's a fucking snake. We're going to talk about it. We'll get into it, and I'll show you why he's a snake in just a minute. This entire thing is to extract $50 from people and get them to put their names down as pirators. Don't do it. I'm not your lawyer. But if I were, I would tell you not to do it. So here we go. Provide us with any of the information requested herein or enter into this settlement and release. You agree that we have the right to store any information provided by you via this site in perpetuity, and that we may use and share such information as we deem necessary to enforce our rights under applicable law in this settlement and release. Yep, as we deem necessary. They can just dox you. No big deal. Just give them all your info. It's fine. It's good. Once payment is processed, you will receive a personalized email at the email address you provided. Yeah, just go ahead and do it first, and then we'll send you your personalized term sheet. This is how settlements go all the time, by the way. I say, look, you give me $10,000 and then we'll call it settled. And don't worry, once you give me the $10,000, I'll write up the settlement on behalf of my client and send it to you. That's not how settlements go. This is not how the law works at all. This is ridiculous. Okay. You acknowledge and agree that this is not a general release and that your entry into the settlement release only constitutes a settlement and release of the specific matters expressly stated herein. Neither we nor any of our affiliates shall be prohibited or otherwise restricted in any manner from bringing any other claim, suit, action, or cause of action against you or your affiliates, successors, licensees, and assigns pertaining to any other matter not expressly stated in this settlement and release. And neither we nor any of our affiliates are waiving any other claims or defenses that may be available to us under applicable law, all of which express remain reserved. All of which express remain reserved? That's not good legal writing. That's not even good writing. Except for any terms and conditions pertaining to this settlement that have been made public by us, you agree that the terms of this settlement and release shall remain confidential. Wait, how can they remain confidential? You've got them up on a fucking website, you weirdos. And shall not be revealed to anyone other than as required by a court of competent jurisdiction or legislative body. You can't get a post facto agreement. You can't agree to something after you pay for it. That doesn't make any sense. As reasonably necessary to enforce the terms of the settlement and as may otherwise be required by law. They could honestly, you could pay your $50. They could send you a settlement saying, by the way, you also agree to pay another $1,000 in penalties because we said so and you agreed to it when you took the terms of the deal. What? What is this? So here's this. There's another part. Give me just a second. There's more to it that I read. And I need to see if I still have it. Okay, here we go. I have to do these one at a time because these are screenshots I got. Triller gives 1 month's amnesty to any person or entity who illegally streamed April 17 Jake Paul fight, blah, blah, blah. Triller today announced it has opened a website for anyone who pirated the April 17th Triller Fight Club event to pay the original $49 pay-per-view price before June 1st, after which the company will be pursuing individuals for the maximum civil penalty of $150,000 per illegal stream. They would never get it from an individual. Not a chance. From individuals, they're likely to get some multiple of $50, maybe $200, something like that. For broadcasters who would have to license it, it gets a little bit more particular, but they're not getting $150,000 from almost anybody. Payment site is here. On the Fight TV payment page, Triller has embedded an agreement that upon paying the $49.99 fee, it will release and agree not to pursue the user. Hold on. We got to get to the next one here. because this has the interesting stuff on it. You guys tell me if this is true. I don't know. Not to pursue the user for the $150,000 civil penalty that it would be entitled to against each part and any individual who pirated the pay-per-view event. Quote, VPN firewalls all have to comply and turn over the actual IP addresses of each person who stole the fight in Discovery, said Matt St. Clair, head of piracy for Triller. We will be able to identify each and every person, VPN or not, as each stream has a unique fingerprint embedded in the content. Triller will pursue the full $150,000 penalty per person per instance for anyone who doesn't do the right thing and pay before the deadline. Now, I might be a boomer, but bullshit. Good fucking luck. Oh, each of our streams has an individual fingerprint. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. What the hell? And this should be your first indication, by the way, this lawsuit is entirely bullshit. This is a money grab. This is a money grab. Try and grab as many $50 payments as possible. That's what they're doing here. This is fucking garbage. Triller filed legal action on April 23rd, blah, 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 against the owners of H3 Podcast website for piracy on the April 17th event and a dozen other sites that restreamed and profited from as many as hundreds of thousands of users each. More than 2 million illegal streams of the event occurred for the Jake Paul versus Ben Askren boxing match. In the case of H3 Podcast, Triller added the site to its legal action after the site's owner admitted on his own podcast here we go. Admitted on his own podcast that he pirated and shared the Paul versus Askren fight. The legal action could result in civil fines up to $150,000 per illegal stream, as well as potentially $250,000 in criminal fines and up to 5 years in jail. Fines are calculated at $150,000 per instance. So for H3 and other sites who rebroadcast the event to many people, the damages are large. No. It'd still be per instance. If it's $150,000 per instance, unless you re-instanced it later, it's $150,000. If it's one stream, it's $150,000. That's the statutory penalty. It's not to each person that watched H3H3 stream. So that's not how that works. But hold on, we'll get to this. We are taking this position because it is outright theft, St. Clair added. It is no different than walking into a store, stealing a video game off the shelf. In the case of the offending sites, it's worse because they also then resold it to many people illegally profiting from work they do not own. How did they resell it? The whole idea of a piracy stream is that you're not paying for it. So how did they resell the piracy? Because I'm not sure. Pathetic pair, we're going to talk about that. Ethan makes money from views and super chats. However, the courts don't look at it that way. They don't look at it that way. Courts say a sale of a broadcast is a charge for the broadcast, not ancillary income that occurs during a broadcast. And you can find this in places like bars, for example, that have pirated or streamed a pay-per-view fight without a license. And what happens is, shockingly, unless they're charging a cover charge for fight night, or unless they're selling an item specifically to get access to fight night, That's not a charge. It's not a paid rebroadcast. Even at bars and restaurants where people are coming in to watch the broadcast, eat and drink, you don't get to just count them as paying because they're there. Because if they're just there and the piracy is happening, it's a different calculation. So I think that would apply linearly to a YouTube channel because you're not paying to watch the fight. You're watching the YouTube show for the fight, and you may pay something to the YouTuber during it. So then it gets into a whole different question of what would the cost of licensing have been for the audience of that size? And there's a licensing cost that would occur for a bar of a given capacity, and there's a licensing cost that presumably could occur for an audience of a given size on a live stream. Now, we're going to get into H3H3 in a minute, but it's not this clear cut. It's not as clear cut as it sounds. So unless H3H3 charged a literal cover charge to watch Fight Night on his channel, which anyone who paid that would be stupid because you could just pay the original venue and not be committing a crime. But if he did that, that would change things. I don't think that's what happened. Actually, I don't even know if H3 actually broadcast this. I don't know if he actually broadcasted on his channel or not. He said he did. He also says that was a joke. Now, whatever the truth is, I'm fine with it. I just don't know because who in God's name watches H3H3 Productions? Like, does anybody? Can anybody confirm that he actually watched, that he actually broadcast it? Did anybody like see it on his channel other than his statement that he did? That's a big problem with this. He did. There's screenshots. Okay. I mean, if he did, he did not. See, this is the problem. They're going to have to prove that he did. But they've got a big problem in their lawsuit before we even get to proof, okay? But I wanted to get to this thing where they said, "Oh, we're going to track you down through your VPN." No, you're not. No, you're not. But they're going to get the IP address of everybody who used the VPN? Good luck. Okay. Anyway, let's do... Here's the case. This will take up the rest of the show. As it should. They have sued a whole bunch of people, right? Film Daily, AccessTVPro.co, online to livestream.us, crackstreamlive.com, Sports Today Club, my-sports.club, billasport.com, Trendy Clips, Mike, Your Extra, Eclipped Gaming, It's Lil Brandon, H3 Podcast, and H3H3 Productions. And this is very scary. Copyright infringement, violation of the Federal Communications Act, violation of the Federal Communications Act, Section 605-553, conversion, breach of contract, that's a weird one, conspiracy, violations of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and vicarious copyright infringement. Now, I have to go on record and say that the judge in a minute order, which means an order that is just recorded by text, not actually in a paper document. So there's no document of it. It's just on the docket on Pacer. The judge said that they have not pleaded any facts about conspiracy. But this document, this lawsuit, says that all of these defendants got together and agreed as a conspiracy to pirate the video. And that's your first clue. When a judge, prior to this lawsuit even being served, the judge says, there's no facts pled on this cause of action at all. That's a bad sign. But that's not the only cause of action with a problem. So let's jump into this, okay? Plaintiff Triller Fight Club 2 LLC, a Delaware limited liability company, hereby complains against defendants, all of these people, and John Doe's 1 through 100 inclusive. Through this action, Triller seeks in excess of $100 million against defendants, and each of them, all of whom are cyber criminals. So, the conspiracy claim is so that each of these people are jointly liable for the $100 million. This is already fucking stupid. Already stupid. They have no indication that this is a thing. All right, so for their outright theft and diversion of upwards of 2 million unique viewers by providing them with illegal and unauthorized viewings of the broadcast of the Jake Paul versus Ben Askren boxing event. Plaintiff is the copyright owner and publisher of the Triller Fight Club broadcast of the Jake Paul versus Ben Askren boxing event, including all undercard bouts and the entire television broadcast exhibited via closed-circuit television and via encrypted satellite signal, hereinafter referred to as the broadcast. Broadcast originated via satellite uplink and was subsequently retransmitted to cable systems and satellite companies via satellite signal and or retransmitted via satellite signal to licensed content distributors such as plaintiff-authorized online platforms. Plaintiff institutes this action to obtain remedy for and to permanently hinder the blatantly unlawful infringement and rampant theft of its copyrighted work by the defendants. Defendants and each of them have utilized various torrent and streaming websites such as YouTube, Film Daily, Access TV Pro, Online to Live Stream, Crack Live Stream, Sports Today, My Sports, and Billa Sports to unlawfully upload, distribute, and publicly display without authorization the broadcast to the users of such websites. Upon information and belief, defendants and each of them acted knowingly, willfully, unlawfully, and with blatant disregard to plaintiff's copyright in the broadcast by uploading the broadcast to the aforementioned websites with additional shareable payment links, such as PayPal links, which allow users to remit direct payments to the various defendants in order to fund and endorse each respective defendant's infringement of plaintiff's broadcast. Defendants' calculated and reprehensible infringement, theft, and other unlawful acts committed in knowing violation of the law has resulted in damages suffered by plaintiff in excess of $100 million by stealing and diverting upward of 2 million unique viewers of the illegal and unauthorized viewings of the broadcast from the plaintiff. Can we identify the problem in the first paragraph? In the first paragraph, they have treated every single defendant as if they did the same thing, despite those defendants allegedly uploading to 8 different websites. Which defendant uploaded to which website? Spoiler alert, they do not ever clarify this. Ever. Jason of the Great Awakening says it's simple. They mistake sending content for piracy because they don't actually create anything interesting, and anything more interesting than them must be evil because takes from the potential homeless looking at their fat arses for NGO money. Next. Acting with intentional and knowing disregard. By the way, these are conclusory statements. This is a bad federal pleading. The federal courts are directed to ignore conclusions of law in the allegations. They can only go off of factual assertions that lead to a finding under law when viewed most favorably towards the plaintiff that they have made a claim. They haven't done that. They just said that they did an illegal thing. They illegally uploaded it. How? When? Where? Who? By what means? Acting with intentional and knowing disregard of plaintiff's exclusive rights in the broadcast. Defendants, who are nothing less than cyber criminals, employ various user profiles on websites, including those mentioned above, to illegally upload copyrighted programming. That's a conclusory statement, by the way, including the broadcast, and to facilitate the unauthorized copying, sharing, downloading, uploading, and distribution of such programming. This is also conclusory. Through their egregious conduct, Defendants also encourage other online users to copy, share, download, distribute, and share the broadcast on the aforementioned websites. This is called whatchamacallit? I'm trying to remember. Vicarious copyright infringement. And they do not plead it well here at all. This is garbage. Defendants further unlawfully facilitate, participate, and induce others users to engage in unauthorized reproduction, adaptation, distribution, and public display of plaintiff's copyrighted broadcasts, all to line their own pockets with monies that belong to plaintiff. Notice what's missing from this, right? A fact. No facts. They have no facts in this document that I have seen so far. I mean, maybe they do later. I don't think so. I read it earlier, but that was like 10 hours ago. So I'm not sure about about if there are any facts in there. But so far, we have zero facts. Lots of allegations. You guys want to know a secret? You want to know a secret earlier? Early in this case? I'll tell you now. I'll spoil the secret now. This lawsuit's sole purpose is to get as many $50 contributions as they can. That's the secret. That's the 1 month window. 1 month. In 1 month, this lawsuit will likely be dismissed. That's all they want. They want as many people to pay up that $50 as possible. Three, notwithstanding each defendant's recognition that plaintiff never authorized their respective copying, downloading, uploading, public display, and or distribution of the broadcast, defendants continue to engage and unjustly benefit from their infringing conduct. Defendants' plain acts of thievery. Show where it's uploaded. Put the link in the document. Plain acts of thievery, misappropriation, and infringement, as further described therein, are tantamount to and no less deplorable than the acts of a pilferer, poaching on and looting the fruits of another hard-earned labor. Yes, yes, the writer of this lawsuit literally said the act of stealing this is on the same level of offense as a pilferer, as in someone who steals like a couple dollar bills from someone's pocket. Okay, if that's the narrative you want to go with, fucking embarrassing. Court has subject matter jurisdiction. Okay. And then venue is proper on information and belief because the events gave rise in this district. And they have personal jurisdiction over each of the defendants, which they don't show that at all. I mean, they don't point that out at all. So jurisdiction's going to be a mess. All right, next. Plaintiff is a limited liability company incorporated under the laws of Delaware, having its principal place of business in the state of California. Plaintiff is engaged in the business of distributing its copyrighted materials and offering such content, including the broadcast, for purchase on a pay-per-view basis to its paying customers over the internet. Plaintiff invests substantial money, time, and effort in advertising, promoting, selling, and licensing programming such as the broadcast. Plaintiff owns the copyrights to broadcast as the exclusive owner of the copyright in its programming, including but not limited to the broadcast. Plaintiff possesses the exclusive rights to, among other things, exhibit, distribute, disseminate, and perform the broadcast publicly. Upon information and belief, defendant Film Daily is a business entity, the exact nature of which is unknown, registered in Nevada and doing business in the state of California. Upon information and belief, Film Daily offers the website filmdaily.co for the purposes of permitting, encouraging, facilitating, and inducing the sharing of videos and live programming of audiovisual materials between users of the website. Those materials include programming owned and or controlled by plaintiff, including the broadcast, which is offered by filmdaily.com through its illegal uploading and distribution of the broadcast. But did Film Daily actually upload and distribute this, or did someone do it through Film Daily? Because if someone did it through Film Daily, they're going to be shielded under the Copyright Act. They have a safe harbor provision so long as they comply with DMCA. Whoops. Upon information and belief, defendant Access TV Pro is a business entity registered in Arizona doing business in California. Same thing, same problem. Did Access TV Pro upload it? You're going to have to show facts. Online to live stream is state of California. Crack Stream Live is state of California. Now, do we believe that these are actually businesses in the state of California? I don't. I don't believe they're doing business in the state of California at all. Is their principal office in the state of California? Do they have a branch office for sports-today.club in the state of California? Or is their website just accessible from California? This isn't a very good jurisdictional statement. Defendant My Sports Club is a business entity under the, doing business in the state of California. They're just guessing. They're just saying they're in California. They're just saying it. They have no basis for this. Billasport.com, doing business in California. We know nothing about them, but they're in California. It's cool. Trendy Clips. Trendy Clips operates a YouTube channel for the purpose of permitting, encouraging, blah, 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 blah. So they're saying that Trendy Clips is based out of California. I don't know if Trendy Clips is based out of California. Who's Trendy Clips? How big is Trendy Clips? Let's see. Trendy Clips. That didn't work. This is all hairstyling shit. Here's Trendy Clips. 42.8 thousand subscribers. No content. Although... they've got the Ben Askren, Jake Paul fight as their fucking logo. That's beautiful. I love that. That made me happy. Whew! Sometimes the internet restores my faith in humanity. Okay, back to this. But they're based in California because they are. Defendant Mike is a business entity. Okay, Mike operates this YouTube channel. So here's Mike. Oh no! They've got the full fight up still. Mike, why would you admit to it? Oh no, you communist. 793,000 views. So Mike still got it up there. Good job, Mike, whoever you are. Definitely in California, though. Literally, the channel name is Mike. Woo! Your Extra. Who's this guy? Your Extra. That's just Mike. It's the same link for Mike. I guess Your Extra gets out of the lawsuit because they put the same fucking link in. Defendant Eclipsed Gaming is a business in California. Again, how are they determining that these businesses are in California? That's just Mike too. They put the same link down for 3 different people. It's Lil Brandon. That's the same link for Mike. H3H3 Productions. Okay, we've got a different one there. Okay, at least they have H3H3. A million views per video. Somebody kill me. This fat fucking loser weirdo. Oh, God. Are Ethan and Gila Klein in California? Are they in California? Do we know? They are? Okay. Gotcha. And then they have H3H3 Productions, their other channel. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that the actions and omissions that serve as a basis for this complaint were undertaken jointly and with the consent, conspiracy, cooperation, and joint participation of all defendants. You gotta have facts. You gotta show where this happened. How is there a conspiracy? Show it. Can't just say there was. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that at all times mentioned herein, each defendant was the agent, joint venture, and or employee of each and every other defendant. Let's read that again. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that at all times mentioned herein, each defendant was the agent, joint venture, and or employee of each and every other defendant. That means that H3H3 is Mike's employee and Mike is H3H3's employee. And in doing the things alleged in this complaint, each defendant was acting within the course and scope of such agency, joint venture, and or employment. The true names and capacities, whether individual, corporate, associate, or otherwise, of defendants named herein as Does 1 through 10. Now mentioned, they named 100 John Does earlier, but they've only named 10 here. Inclusive in each of them are unknown to plaintiffs at this time. Plaintiff therefore sues said defendants in each of them by such fictitious names. All the John Does, all the 100 or 10 don't know John Does are also employees, agents, and joint ventures of all of the businesses. This website's an entire fucking sham. This lawsuit's a fucking sham. Okay, count one. Notice what's missing? Okay, we've read a lot of complaints. This is the amended complaint, by the way. We've read a lot of complaints on here, right? On this show. What always comes between the parties and the counts? It's a critical section of every lawsuit. It's called the fact section, where you have to allege the facts that lead to the counts you're going to allege. You have to tell the court what facts occurred to get to the actual causes of action. Okay. Plaintiff is the owner of the copyrights to the broadcast, including all undercard bouts, blah, blah, blah. We read that already. As the copyright holder, plaintiff has the exclusive right to copy. Defendants in each of them failed to obtain the property, authority, or license from plaintiff to copy, publicly perform, or distribute. Upon information and belief, defendants illegally copied, uploaded, publicly performed, and distributed the broadcast via the internet with full knowledge that the broadcast could only be obtained by purchasing a license from plaintiff. Where did they do it? When did they do it? Put the link up. Do you have a link? What time did they do it? Did they do it live? Did they say, fuck it, we're doing it live? Or did they do it after the fact? What is it? Defendants have utilized various websites such as these to upload, distribute, and publicly display the broadcast. Put a link up. There's links. You have some of them. You know Mike put it up. Mike still got it up. Put the link up. Where's the link? Put it in the document. Show the date. Specifically, on information and belief, the defendants in each of them obtained the broadcast through internet websites, cable and or television pay-per-view purchases intended for private non-commercial viewing, and subsequently... Okay, so they don't actually know how they got them. Remember, these people can track you down by your VPN, but they don't know if any of the plaintiffs got them from a website, cable, or satellite pay-per-view. They can't tell you if they purchased them for private use. They don't have a signed license agreement. They literally don't know how any of these broadcasts occurred, but they're going to track you down by your VPN. Make no mistake, they will. There's a fingerprint, remember? On every broadcast. They know who you are. Like Moana. And subsequently illegally retransmitted the broadcast and publicly exhibited the broadcast by illegally copying and uploading. This is all conclusory. These are all legal conclusions. None of that is a fact statement. Defendants have infringed on plaintiff's copyright. That's conclusory. And have recouped profits. How much? Defendants' acts of infringement were willful and blatant disregard of and committed with indifference. This is conclusory. By reason of defendants' conduct as described herein, defendants, each of them willfully violated this. That's conclusory. So here's what you have to do. This isn't that hard. Here's what you have to do to show this. You show the license agreement that the user who did the illegal upload agreed to. And you show that the section of the license agreement attached as Exhibit A, for example, for Ethan Klein, and you should have a record of H3H3 Productions or Ethan Klein or Gila Klein or somebody buying that license, right? You should have a record of that. You'd say, they purchased this license from this website on this date, and their license agreement is that of an individual user, which prohibits explicitly in Section 6A the redistribution or rebroadcast of this content. That's how you do it. It's not hard. You just allege that they purchased it. It was an individual use because that's what they said. They didn't say they stole it. It says they purchased it. It's an illegal use. It's in the contract that they signed. They clicked agree. You have a record. Here's their IP address. Why don't they have that? This lawsuit's bullshit. Again, Ethan and Gila Klein can eat shit for all I care. This lawsuit's bad because it's bad. Due to defendants' acts of copyright infringement as alleged herein, defendants have obtained direct and indirect profits. What profits? How specifically did they gain profits? Do you know that Ethan Klein took super chats during the broadcast? Do you know that his video is monetized with ads? Do you know it? Have you even alleged it? No, you haven't. I bet Mike broadcast that for free because I bet Mike isn't monetized. It's a channel with 7,000 subscribers, probably all of them from the fight. Do you know they earned any money? They would be able to monetize after the fight. Do you know? Do you know any of these people earned any money from this? You haven't alleged it. Count 2, violation of the Federal Communications Act. Broadcast was available for non-commercial private viewing through plaintiff, its authorized online vendors, as well as pay-per-view purchase through authorized satellite TV providers. Defendants, in a calculated effort to use the broadcast for their own commercial benefit, obtained access to plaintiff's broadcast by purchasing the program and subsequently copying the broadcast and uploading it to torrent and streaming websites. When? When did they make their purchases? Which defendants? They know they did it, right? They have to know, but they don't allege it. This is an absolutely terrible lawsuit. In order to purchase and view the broadcast through satellite TV provider intended for private non-commercial viewing, an individual purchaser was subject to the copyright language contained therein, which expressly stated that the unauthorized reproduction or distribution of the copyrighted work is illegal. Why isn't that attached as an exhibit? Why isn't there acceptance of that attached as an exhibit? Can you prove it? Upon information and belief with full knowledge that the broadcast is not to be received, distributed, reproduced, or publicly exhibited by individuals unauthorized to do so, defendants without authorization from plaintiff unlawfully intercepted, received, and or descrambled satellite signal. Oh, wait a minute. So they didn't buy it now? Now they didn't buy it. They unlawfully intercepted, received, and descrambled the satellite signal. Oh, okay. Okay, now they didn't buy it, even though just 2 paragraphs ago they did. Upon information and belief, plaintiff alleges that defendant effected unauthorized interception and receipt of plaintiff's broadcast via defendant's satellite TV service by ordering programming for residential use and subsequently copying, upload. Look, if they ordered it for residential use, they didn't intercept and descramble it. Which one is it? Prohibits unauthorized reception and publication. They would be authorized to receive it. The publication would be unauthorized. That'd be a different section. God, this is so fucking stupid. Defendants willfully and unlawfully accessed, received, and subsequently retransmitted the broadcast over a cable TV or internet system while knowing that they were unauthorized to do so. Prohibits the unauthorized reception of any communication service offered over cable systems, such as the transmission of the broadcast. Upon information and belief, the defendants knowingly, willfully, and unlawfully accessed, received, and subsequently retransmitted the broadcast when it was offered via cable TV or internet subscription. By reason of defendant's conduct, they violated 47 USC 553. How? How did they do it? How would one do this? Now, I read some other copyright pay-per-view infringement lawsuits that have been done. I prepped for this show, believe it or not. I prepped for this show. And in other lawsuits, what they do is they talk about how you might intercept using a descrambler box, something like that. That's how you would do it. You'd say, here's how they could gain unauthorized access through the use of a scrambler or decoder box or software or something like that, that takes the image that is otherwise encrypted and breaks the encryption and allows someone to view the content. They don't allege how they did it. That's how bars do it, by the way. Bars just buy a black box, plug it into their main feed. Fuck this. Run that in. Of course they do. Because the licensing fee for something like this for a bar is like $3 or $4 grand. Little small town bar isn't going to make $3 or $4 grand on the fight. However, they might make $2 grand or $2,500. The risks are pretty low for getting caught. So they just go ahead and buy a descrambler box, plug it in, say fuck you. By the way, we are closing in on 1,000 likes. Rittenhouse whiskey is really good once it's like the 3rd glass of whiskey you had. If you feel like hitting like, if you like the anger tonight at this stupid fucking lawsuit, go ahead and hit it. If you don't hit it. See if I care. Count 4, conversion. This is a throwaway count. You have specific statutory acts. By virtue of defendant's conduct as set forth herein, you haven't alleged any conduct that the defendants actually engaged in. Interfered with plaintiff's property by unlawfully converting it for their own commercial use, benefit, and private financial gain. Defendant's acts of conversion. So conversion is a type of theft. They're saying, oh, we got 1,000 likes. Well, I guess. They're saying they thieved it. They haven't shown how it's converted. I'm going to regret tonight. The Rittenhouse rye costs $100 Australian dollars? No. It does not. It's like 30 US. I've been listening to Linkin Park all day while I've been driving around. So I'm like running through the lyrics of what I've done in my head right now. Woo. All right. So this is for breach of contract. Let's see what contract they broke. Plaintiff would show, can't show, but will, apparently, that pursuant to plaintiff's terms of use for its programming of the broadcast, any user of plaintiff's authorized websites for pay-per-view purchase and any purchaser of residential pay-per-view feed from plaintiff, either via cable or satellite TV, agreed not to reproduce, distribute. Why don't you just show it? So defendants in each of them purchased the broadcast. All the defendants purchased the broadcast, except they stole it, and then they purchased it. Can't make up their minds. Upon information and belief with full knowledge that the broadcast is not to be unlawfully copied and distributed, streaming and torrent websites. I don't think any of these are torrent websites. Okay. Just $100 million. $100 million. $100 million. You know what I love about listening to Linkin Park now? Is you go, oh yeah, that's why that guy killed himself. With every single song you hear, you're like, oh, okay. Okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, he regarded himself as garbage in every single song. Got it. Count 6 is conspiracy. Upon information and belief, defendants in each of them had an agreement between two or more persons. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they all did. You got it. Upon information and belief, defendants... I can't keep reading the same fucking paragraph. It's so stupid. Each of them intentionally, willfully, and unlawfully accessed, copied, uploaded, distributed, and publicly displayed the broadcast using websites and did, in fact, receive direct contributions as approximate. But that doesn't make it an agreement. Just because, like, I don't have... Okay, hypothetically, I stream all 30 seconds of Jake Paul and Ben Askren's fight. And in that 30 seconds, someone sends me a $5 super chat. That doesn't mean I had a pre-existing agreement to stream it in exchange for a super chat. Doesn't mean anything of the sort. You have to show some plausible agreement between the two. Some communication, some reason, even just literally a reason these people would have to communicate with someone else. There's an obvious one. There's a fucking obvious one. H3 Productions and H3H3. Those two entities are interrelated and likely had you could suggest that the officers, which are the same people, had an agreement between the two organizations to go ahead and do it. And you don't even allege that? You don't even allege the most obvious conspiracy that H3 Productions and H3H3 are owned and operated by the same officers. And those officers had a standing agreement between the two companies to broadcast it on both channels. That is fucking obvious. YouTube itself, but YouTube doesn't enter into an agreement with something that you broadcast. YouTube specifically disclaims what you broadcast. So YouTube is not actually in agreement with you. YouTube has Section 230 immunity and copyright safe harbor immunity based on the fact that they are not responsible or working in coordination with what you upload. So you can't allege conspiracy with YouTube. It's a good thought, but you can't do it because their entire business model relies on a level of distance and separation between the creator and the platform. So you can't use YouTube. You have to show how any of these people talk to each other. And they may have. They literally may have. I don't know if they do. I don't know how piracy websites operate, but it's very possible they all say, oh, hey, you streaming the Ben Askren fight? Yeah, I am. I'm rooting for Jake Paul because I'm a weirdo. They might have had that communication. At least allege it. Just allege it. You don't even have to know. You can just allege it. They don't even say. Guys, here's a sad tip of lawsuit drafting. If you don't know for sure, you can just claim it anyway and be wrong. All you have to do is just allege it. Yeah, on Information and Belief, online to livestreams.us has a direct message session on some social media platform with crackstreamslive.com. Allege it. Worst case is you're wrong. Show why you believe that they do. They started the broadcast at the same time or within 10 minutes of each other. There you go. It's lawsuits. You have liability from defamation. You can or liability immunity. You can just go ahead and claim it. And of course you should claim it in this case. You already did. You just didn't do it well. That's the trick. Yeah, good logic's in the chat. He knows. You just allege it. You allege it to hopefully get past your dismissal, your 12B6 dismissal. You allege, yeah, by the way, on Information and Belief, this person communicated with this person through a social media app to coordinate the distribution of times. We think that they did this because they started within 10 minutes of each other. Even though it's obvious why they would start within 10 minutes of each other, that's when the broadcast starts. You just allege it, though. Count 7, violations of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, 18 U.S.C. 1030. Now, another thing missing from all of these sections. So there's a point to all this. They don't have a fact section. So their count section is where they're supposed to allege facts. But there's a really, really important part to every count section. And if you're a lawyer and you are not doing this in your actual causes of action sections, then you should die miserably on the rack, on the wheel, drawn and quartered, castrated, penis stuffed in the mouth, and then bludgeoned to death. I don't care how smothered by Tess Holliday's back knees or whatever it is, forced to eat Tess Holliday's pimple extract, whatever it is. However you die, it doesn't matter. If you are a lawyer and in your cause of action section, you don't put the fucking elements of the cause of action in the section, just kill yourself. Just do it. Just save us all the trouble. All you have to do in every cause of action section is put cause of action, violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, 18 U.S.C. 1030. The elements of the violation of 18 U.S.C. 1030 are this. This is how we believe the defendant behaved. Why in fuck aren't you doing that? If it's not a rule, it should be a rule. And anyone who violates the rule should have their pinky chopped off by an axe and shoved up their urethras. I'm so fucking sick of this. Why on earth would you not write the elements of the action in the cause of action and then show how they violated the elements? You have to understand. Hey, Craig Shriver, Roger Haydock was my professor. How did you know that? Did you know that? That was my civil procedure professor. And I had him for another class too. What was it? Haydock's a great professor. He's also the richest man I've ever met, I'm pretty sure. But think about this. Your complaint has one job. It has one job. Survive the 12B6 motion for dismissal. That's the only thing that your complaint has to do. Your complaint, you can amend that shit later. You can fucking change everything you want. It has to survive that 12B6 motion for dismissal. That's it. That's it. So all you have to do is you have to allege, this is long settled law. Iqbal Twombly. It's got a fucking name. It's got a name that they teach on literally the first 3 weeks of law school for every law student that is going to law school right now. Learns about Iqbal and Twombly. They learn about this. The Iqbal Twombly standard of pleading in federal courts. No matter what you do, your complaint has to allege sufficient facts to lead a reasonable judge to the idea that the cause of action was committed. That's it. It doesn't have to prove the facts. It just has to actually allege the facts. That's all. You don't have to prove that they spoke on a given date. You just have to allege that they spoke. Because of course they did. It's a lawsuit. The next thing you have to do is you have to show that the alleged facts amount to the cause of action. And the way you do that, this is how you mentally do this, is you write down the elements of the cause of action, and then you link a fact paragraph to the element. As stated in paragraph 29, defendants unlawfully accessed a particular thing. As stated in paragraph 31, defendants transmuted the unlawful access into a broadcast without authorization. As alleged in paragraph 32, defendants signed a notice acknowledging that they knew that an unlicensed rebroadcast was unauthorized. You just write the cause of action the elements of the cause of action, and then the facts that support the elements. Because if you don't have them, your complaint is defective. It's a reinforcing tool for yourself. It helps the judge, and it helps you because you go back and you go, oh, fuck, I missed cause of action 3. I better write a fact section paragraph that covers this. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. It's the easiest job on the fucking planet. Write a complaint that survives a 12B6 motion is not about even having the real information. It's about literally how you write it. This should be dismissed immediately. Michael Janoski, it may be dismissed sua sponte by the judge. By the way, that actually is a possibility because the judge is already like, whoa, this is a bullshit complaint already. You have until May whatever to prove that it's not. That's coming. But that being said, Michael Janoski says, AKA Saint Sinner PA on locals. I feel your bad day. Got told Friday that I would be without a job in 2 weeks due to budget cuts. That's not the same, you motherfucker. My company found out today that it's the whole contract, not just me. 10 plus people axed. Don't you dare. Michael Janoski, you son of a bitch. Saint Sinner PA. Don't you dare try to equate your pain with mine. Yours is a real problem. I talked about this. at the beginning. You have what's called a real problem where you go, okay, I'm losing a job. Now I have to have a plan. I have to go in. I have to cut my spending on XYZ. I have to start doing job hunting. I got to send resumes out. I got to refresh my resume. I need to, in the morning, I need to check the classifieds. I need to check the monster.com or whatever the job hunting websites are. I might need to apply for unemployment. I got to go do X, Y, and Z to go ahead and start fixing my problem. You fucker, you're out there like, oh, my problem's the same as yours. No, it isn't. You have a way better problem than me. My problems are little shit. The fucking sandwich with the ends the wrong way. You're going to try and compare your problem to mine? How do you fix a sandwich with the ends the wrong way? What am I going to do? Flip the bread around and have the mayo on the outside? What kind of degeneracy do you think this is? No, I'm not going to turn the bread around, you weirdo. That would be disgusting. I'd be holding on to mayonnaise and sprouts and ham. Gross. What are you talking about? You think your problems are like mine? My camera's going to come tomorrow. I can't make it come today. I can't develop a plan that'll make my camera come earlier. I just have to wait. What the fuck is your problem? You're out here, oh, I lost my job. Oh, get over it. You can get another one. I can't get my camera today, and my sandwich can't be the right way. It's always going to be inside out for all of time. For all of history, my sandwich today will be wrong. Nothing I can do to fix it. You could have another job tomorrow. I don't know. You'll fix that in a minute. You're out here pretending, oh, I lost my job is somehow just as bad as me having an inverted sandwich. Have you ever had an inverted anything? I bet not. You and your white privilege. trying to match my pain. Embarrassing. Count 8 for vicarious copyright infringement. Plaintiff is the owner of the copyrights to the broadcast, including all undercard bouts and the entire television broadcast. Yeah, we know what your rights are. You look at this. You reallege and by reference incorporate herein everything you've already said, but you've said these two paragraphs 30 times now. Defendants encouraged online users to copy, share, download, distribute, and share content, including broadcasts on the aforementioned websites. Where? Just a fact statement. that they said it ever. Anytime, ever. They can't do it. They can't do it because it didn't happen. Because why would this happen? Look, if you're pirating and restreaming something, you're not like calling up Mike. Oh, Mike, bro, this is Ethan Klein. Maybe you've heard of me. I'm calling you up right now to tell you, by the way, you totally need to download and restream. You gotta restream that Ben Askren Jake Paul fight. I don't say Jake Paul first because I'm a YouTuber, and I remember when Jake Paul was photographing dead Japanese women in a forest. That was kind of gross, right? And so I don't say his name first, but you've got to restream it. Nobody does this. Nobody acts like this. It's completely fucking fake. This is such a shitty lawsuit. They derived a financial benefit from such users' activities. What would be the benefit of someone else restreaming it? That's the opposite of what would happen. Ethan Klein should answer this and say, no, I didn't tell Mike to rebroadcast that. I wanted people to watch my rebroadcast of it. Because I wanted all the super berries. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't do this. And that's why you don't have any record of them doing it. You can't even allege it. It wasn't an act of copyright infringement. It would be an act of vicarious copyright infringement. That's what you're alleging. Learn your own fucking cause of action. Ah! 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 You want $100 million. Thank you, Farad Novian. This is a managing fucking partner? This is a managing part. This is a super lawyer. Of fucking course it is. The single worst designation on the goddamn planet is super lawyer. If all of the super lawyers died tomorrow, no one would even know that it happened. Good Logic says someone probably paid $20,000 for that complaint to be written. Got ripped off, I would have written it for 10. I would write bullshit for 10. 10, 20,000. He's right, by the way. He's probably right. It's a 21-page document. You can easily charge 2 hours a page. Easily charge 2 hours a page. $500 an hour. $20,000. I can't take it. I can't take it. Let's do super chats and end this fucking show. Mine would not have been as fun to read. No, it wouldn't, because mine would actually just be an actual straightforward complaint. I would probably put the cause of action. Or I would say, are you sure you want to do this with this information? We should probably get more. You guys want to know, like, let me get honest and gay with you for a minute. I get mocked on Twitter all the time, right? By law Twitter. He's got a failing law firm that he had to go to YouTube. Do you want to know why I'm on YouTube? Do you want to know why I'm on YouTube? I can't do this. I can't. I've had I've had clients who've asked me to sue other people. I've had clients asking me to write fucking crazy lawsuits. I've had clients who would pay me thousands and thousands of dollars to sue various state agencies or businesses or whatever that are completely frivolous. I can't do it. I can't. It would cost them tens of thousands of dollars. I can't do it. So, yeah. I'll be a failed law firm or whatever. All day over ever writing that document. Ever. Farad Novian and Michael O'Brien wrote this document. That's their work product. That's what Novian and Novian LLP puts out. Never forget, Novian and Novian LLP wrote this complaint with not a single fucking fact. Not one. Not a single fact in the document. They know if they have any lawyer in them, they know this doesn't survive a 12B6 motion. And they were okay charging Triller tens of thousands of dollars to write the complaint. I don't know how much they charged. It's pretty simple. 21 pages. Hour to 2 hours a page. Minimum 10 grand. Minimum $10,000. They know this is going to be dismissed. By the way, this is the amended complaint. They wrote a previous complaint too. They wrote a previous complaint. This is the second document. I can't. My grandpa gave me this name. My grandfather is a first-generation Polish American. My dad, second-generation Polish American. The Ricada name doesn't have anything special to it, other than the fact that my grandfather gave it to me. I gotta put my name on bullshit like this. Fucking garbage. Garbage. Trash. A guaranteed dismissal of a lawsuit. If that means my law firm fails, fucking fail all day. You know what I won't be? I won't be a bankrupt piece of shit like Greg Doucette who walks out on his kid. Walks out on his obligations. I'll never be a fucking failure like Mike Dunford. You make fun of me for ranting on YouTube and drinking and calling fat women fat. Fuck fat women. Fuck fat men too. I don't care. Make fun of me for that. If that's the worst thing in my life, that's the worst thing to the Ricada name is I made fun of fat people and wanted them to be skinny. Good. There are lawyers out there every day doing this shit. I'll be a failed lawyer every day over that. Disgusting. Poorly redacted says, you're a good man, Rackets. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's not about what I let happen. It's about what happens, buddy. It's about what happens. All right. Sorry for the gay personal shit. I don't like doing that, but the Rittenhouse liquor has me wistful or whatever. Novianlaw.com. Should we check it out? To their credit, they say dedicated to achieving the best possible result. The best possible result for these fuckers is honestly those $50 contributions from up to 2 million people who are scared and uninformed. They're doing it. They're doing it. I hope that Triller out earns whatever they spend on Novian in those voluntary donations. Because their lawsuit is absolutely fucking frivolous. Absolutely frivolous. Yeah. I'm not here to change your opinion on H3H3. My opinion of them is very low. That being said, this lawsuit is garbage. It's fake. It's bullshit. Triller should know it. Novian definitely knows it. And it's bullshit from step one. Now, they could amend this complaint and salvage it. They really can. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they have any intention to do that. They filed their initial complaint. They gave a month. They filed their amended complaint. They asked for service. Parties haven't been served yet. Once they're served, they have 21 days to respond. There's no way this thing gets responded to in under 30 days. They get their 30 days. They get their $50 a pop of people going, oh God, they're going to track down my VPN. They're not going to track down your VPN. They're going to track down your VPN. They'd hire a better law firm. It's all fucking garbage. And this is the shit that gets all lawyers a bad name. All of them. All of them. And I can't do it. I can't be that lawyer. That's why I don't do it. So anyway, all right, let's do some chats. Super chats, justice chats. All the chats. Were there any justice chats that came in beforehand? Streamlabs has been fucking garbage about showing me the pre-stream chats. Let me check. I'm going to try and get some new merch up, by the way. Remember, it is okay to be a man. It is okay to be a man. All right, so Mario Kart 13 is the first one I have. What? We've got one from Crusader Saracen in the middle of the night last night, even though I didn't stream. Says, Ask Creed went from pretty interesting to the epitome of the Sony Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed. Sony Ubisoft Naughty Dog mud genre of open world, uninspired, sepia-tinted, open world, cinematic, third-person action game with stealth dialogue options leveling up and retarded collectibles. Holy shit. Damn. Wanted to make sure I got that one. All right, next. KCD says, what college did you go to and how did you afford it? Student loans or mom and dad or... let's see. For undergrad, I went to Southwest Minnesota State University. And most of that was paid for by my grandfather. Some of it was paid by student loans. Most of it was paid by my grandfather. William Mitchell is where I went to law school, and that was a mix of family help and student loans, and a scholarship. Student loans, scholarship, family help. All three of them. So I had a third of my law school paid by scholarship. The rest was a mixture of student loans and family help. So there you go. Hope that helps. And a trust fund. Nope. No trust fund paid a single penny of my law school, actually. So there you go. Have your kids shot any guns yet? No, they have not. All right. Mario Carter says, Drexel is wrong. Not all couples are just roommates. Frank Luntz enjoyed fucking his roommate in the ass so much he made it a career. Drexel has a particular perspective. And that's why I bring him on the show. I don't agree with his perspective all the time. However, it's not my place to like tell him he's wrong, because he's not wrong. It's his perspective. And I find it valuable. I find it a valuable alternative perspective on the world. He's also a very good friend. Night of Hope says she's an even fatter bitch in a fat bitch's body. Shadows King 101 says Nick drinks his Soylent with a baby bottle nipple on top after he gets his wife to open it for him. Look, I try to open the Soylent, but it hurts my wrist. So I asked my wife to do it. Bad Dragonite says, from PC Gamer, court accidentally opens Epic versus Apple dial-in line to all speakers. I would suck all of you to get Fortnite mobile back, said one caller to the U.S. District Court. I heard about that. They opened the voice line to everybody like fucking idiots. Have no faith in government. No aspect of government can do it correct. James Marone says, real friends call out their friends. Don't be a yes man. I'm not a yes man to Drex. I just allow him to speak his position as he allows me to speak mine. He knows I don't agree with him, and I know he doesn't agree with me. That's okay. That's part of how our relationship works, and I think that's what makes it interesting. Like, I clearly don't agree with him. I've been married for, I think it's 16 and a half years right now. No. 17 years and 2 months. So I don't agree with Drax about marriage. That's pretty obvious. However, I'm not gonna like stomp all over his things. Yo, marriage is perfect, because it's not. It's fucking hard. And I think most marriages are fake. Let me let you guys in on a secret. I am more conservative on marriage than probably anyone you've ever met. I would say most marriages are not valid. The overwhelming majority of marriages are not. Because I would say that the only marriage that has validity is one that is seriously undertaken as a three-way contract between man, woman, and God. If you asked me how I define marriage, that's how I do it. Now, I'm also not going to tell you you're not going to be able to get married in the way that you think is right. But if you ask me what marriages are valid, that's what I'm going to say, because that's my belief. Now, that said, that's my belief. That's what I see as correct. That's not what society sees as correct. That's not what society allows. So, I'm not here to impose my beliefs on other people. I don't fucking care. Whatever you want to do, however you want to ruin your life, that's your thing. Let me ruin my life in my own way, like with a bunch of whiskey or a bunch of Warhammer books or whatever it is. I'm not going to get in your way either. But I will, if you ask me my opinion, I'll give it to you. With no malice at all. But here's the thing. I'll tell you how I have had 17 years of successful marriage. And if you tell me I'm a bigot or I'm wrong or whatever, I'll say, how many years of marriage are under your belt? That's it. And I'll say it with respect. But I'm not going to listen to you because I've been practicing and working at this for 17 fucking years. And if you think that a marriage isn't practice and work, you got the wrong idea about it. So anyway, long story short, but I'm never going to tell Drex that his perspective on marriage is wrong. It's not my place to call him out. I have my belief system. He has his. Those are both fine. And I think they're all valuable to other people listening. That's the most important part. Because an atheist can't take my perspective on marriage. It won't work for them. Maybe Drex's perspective is better for an atheist. I don't know. I'm going to present the perspectives. How's that? Kool-Aid Man says, oh yeah, Nick, when I bust through the wall and give the kids that tasty, sugary drink and they go outside and run around, I slip up into mommy's room where she's waiting for me to blow her back and curl her toes. Then I empty the contents of my jug on her face. Damn. Silky Johnson says, Rittenhouse whiskey. Man, if it tastes like dead commies and pedos that are missing most of an arm and the tears of an AIDS-riddled commie tranny that you use gendered language around, that sounds like the taste of liberty, baby. John Hancock would approve. Rittenhouse whiskey. Can't recommend it enough. Audi driver says, but have you ever had a client who made a sandwich the wrong way? No. If my client was a sandwich maker, I would demand that they make me a sandwich. So a woman, I would demand that they make me a sandwich. And if they made it the wrong way, I would say, get fucked. Try legal aid. Siren Jag says, I took for granted the blissful ignorance of never having anything inverted. Then penis surgery happened. Fuck. Kermit the Frog says, so if you're a third generation Polish American, does that make your nose a fourth generation Polish American? Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Angry Baneling says, Nick, you wash your hair, so you're already not a failure. I'd call that success considering how awful your hair is most of the time. Congrats on being successful, Nikki. Also, private internet access is greater than NordVPN or any other VPN. Santiago says, is it simp logic to get married despite knowing what a woman can legally do in a divorce? I don't think so. Drexel would probably say yes, but I would say, look, your life is full of risk. Just go and undertake the risk knowing what it is. That's the key. If you enter into a new phase, understanding the risks, then you're liable for the outcome. My personal opinion, the risk is worth it. The risk is worth it. Marriage is not always peachy. Look, I could have been on a show with probably like 1 million fucking subscribers today. And I could have said, Ethan Klein is a fat fucking waste of space and a total bitch to a whole bunch of people who would have loved to hear it. However, I didn't. I couldn't do it because I had obligations to my wife. I don't regret that. I don't care about that. I don't think that that's a problem. It was mildly annoying. I would have loved to go on their show, but I just couldn't do it. Schedule didn't work out. And that's all because of marriage, period. But I would take spending the day and last night with my wife over that podcast any day of the week. So no, you know the risks, you learn the risks, and then you decide, the risks are worth it. And let me be honest with you guys, for most men, for the overwhelming majority of men, at the stage when they're getting married, the risk is worth it. You're not worth that much. You're not worth that much money. Drexel isn't worth that much money. I'm not worth that much money. Oh, you're going to get half your shit taken. Half your shit isn't worth fucking anything. It's an average day at Walmart. What the fuck do you think you're worth? You have a shitty apartment with some shitty TV and a shitty couch. You're not worth that much. Come on, guys. Seriously. Seriously. Overvaluing your worth a lot of times, in all honesty. Like, let's be very fucking clear. Now, maybe you don't think that your relationship is worth that much. That's fine. That's an indicator that the woman isn't worth that much to you. That's okay. You can decide that that woman is not worth half of what you have. I'm not going to argue with that. But when you find the woman that is worth more than half of what you have, go for it. Go for it. That's all I'm saying. Know what you're getting into and go for it. The one thing Drex acts like is that this marriage situation is new. It's not new. Guys have been dealing with the same shit. Actually, guys have been getting it worse 30 years ago than they get it today. It's an uncomfortable reality of the MGTOW movement is that things are getting better for men. Don't tell them, though. Don't tell the MGTOW guys. Just don't tell them. But things are getting better for men than they have been probably ever. Literally better than ever. But, I mean, that's how it is. It's okay. If you still don't think it's worth it, don't do it. I'm not here to change your mind. How? How is it getting better? It's literally getting better. The law is moving towards equality. The family court is moving closer to equity between men and women. It just is. Minnesota has a presumption against spousal support. Like, to get spousal support in Minnesota is really fucking hard. Child support has a very specific formula, and they're moving away from giving they give 85% of cases go to women. That is shrinking every day. That's actually an outdated statistic. The reason is because they're trying to undo it. It's better now than it ever has been. That doesn't mean it's the best. That damn fucking microphone. Doesn't mean it's perfect. That doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's equal. But it's literally better now than it was in 1990. Legally, you don't think it has? Then you're fucking wrong. I'm sorry, James Marone, you're fucking wrong. And you're being lied to by people who aren't involved in family court. Look, again, if you don't think it's worth it, don't do it. I will never tell you to get married. I'm not the guy to do it. However, if you think it's worse today than it was in 1990, 2000, 2005, it's not. It's better today than literally fucking ever. In almost every state. I don't know what to tell you about this. It's better than it was. Doesn't mean it's correct. That doesn't mean it's right for you. I'm not here to tell you to get married. But the MGTOW statement has a problem with this whole thing in that the family courts are getting better for men, not worse. That shows how bad the family courts were, that's for sure, because they're still not good. They're just getting better. They're getting better for men. Keep fighting for it, though. Keep fighting for it. Because it needs to be better than it is. It needs to be better than it is, but it's getting better. And like I said, it's not a deal breaker or maker or whatever, but it is a problem for the MGTOW ideology because the family courts are getting better. They have been for a decade. You know why? Because of MGTOW. Because of men's rights activists. We need more of them. I'm not opposed to MGTOW. I'm not opposed to men's rights activists. I'm not opposed to any of that. We need more of them. More of them working. More lawyers in that sphere. People are operating in this binary world. It's not binary. It's fluid, right? It's fluid like fucking Elliot. What's her stupid gay name? I can't remember. A fucking dummy. Elliot Page. Cave Kingdom says MGTOW until equality. Yes, do it. But at the same time, I will tell you that for some of you out there, you will find a woman that is worth the risk. Look, if every entrepreneur in the world looked at starting a business the way that MGTOW look at women, no one would ever start a business. That's a fucking fact. That is a fucking fact. No one who looks at business the way MGTOW look at women would ever start a business, including the fucking MGTOWs who run a business. Guys like Dollhouse Phil, who I love, would never start the doll business if he looked at it the way he looks at women. They wouldn't do it. They would never do it because your risk in business is at least as big as it is with women. Actually, your risk in starting a new business is worse than it is with women. You are much more likely. You are more likely. Here's a real fact for you. How's this? 50% of marriages end in divorce, Nikki. 99% of YouTubers never make a living. 99% of YouTubers never make a living doing YouTube. 98% of salesmen fail. 98% of salesmen fail. $50% of marriages. 50% of marriages. And you're worried about business. Guys start businesses with a 70+% failure rate every day. You're worried about 50% of marriages? By the way, it's 50% of marriages, not 50% of your marriage. You get this beautiful choice of being discerning in the woman you choose. Just like you get this beautiful choice of being discerning in the business that you start. Don't buy into the numbers game. If it's not right for you, don't do it. You're never going to find me marry the first woman you run across. No. Oh, Christ, what is wrong with you? When you decide that the risk is worth the squeeze, then squeeze the fuck out of it. Put a blindfold on it and spank it or whatever, too. It's good. It's good times. Trust me. All right. Shadows King, that was a long tangent from that. Sorry. Shadows King 101 says, but have you considered that women are ucky, Nick? Women are not ucky. Tits and ass are great. Ha! Checkmate, simp. How about you go grab another Soylent? Try open it yourself this time so you don't have to wake the wife up. No. Mario Carter 13 says, I like how we got a 20-minute tangent out of a joke about Frank Luntz and Kevin McCarthy being butt buddies. You know what? Fuck you. Not applicable says, boring Monday without you, buddy. Hope you're well. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Not applicable says, Rick Scott, I didn't do nothing. Kiwi Goes Live says, press S to spit on the corpse of Giant Bomb, Ryan Davis, Rip, and Dan Reichert were the best things to come out of them before the wokening. Twilight Dragon 3 says, is Tess Holiday the land whale that Null feeds? Yes. Nivok to Orc says, hey, my dude, when I listen to the replay at work in the morning, it'll be my 30th birthday. Would you be so kind to tell me happy birthday, my dude? Have a great National Tequila Day for me, my dude. Nivok to Orc, happy birthday. I've drank way too much whiskey. I've dropped way too many facts on this live stream. Happy birthday, buddy. Ignore everything I've said, and other than happy birthday. Not applicable says, violins in the chat, guys. Archimedes says, have you had McClellan's? Islay whiskey is pretty damn good. No, I'll look for it. Angel Rin 89 says, if you ever need a reason to laugh more at how pathetic Ron Toye is, just remember that Emmett, the not memorable sex pest perjurer plant, is somehow married and Ron still isn't. You know what? I'm so mad. I have sent to Twitter. Here we go. Oh, I might actually have it working now. I have sent to Twitter about 7 challenges to the DMCA takedown of my posts about Emmett Plant. I've sent 7 with my full name, my full address, my full phone number, my full email address, literally everything they ask for. And what they keep sending back to me, Twitter keeps saying, we cannot process this without your full name, your full address, including country, your email address, and your phone number. And I'm like, motherfuckers, I have given you every single thing. I've given you a mailing address, a street address, a phone number, an email address, my full legal name, the legal name of my company, which owns the Twitter account, literally everything. I have sent everything at least 7 times now through their web form and then through their email, and they keep rejecting it. But I think they took this recent one. I have given them literally everything they ask for. It's pissing me the fuck off. I just want to call this fat fucking reject a fat fucking reject on a DMCA. I hope he brings it to court and call him a fat fucking reject in court. Mario Carter says, rip anorexia, or as Tess called her, dinner. Anorexia. Snuggle Struggle says, you see that CIA ad? Reminds me of when sympathizers of Maduro were given the jobs of the removed professionals in those Venezuelan oil rigs. I don't know if I saw the same thing you saw, but maybe. Vienticus Prime says, compare how the article is written on other sites. Not applicable says, did she discover anything besides the door, I mean? Not applicable says, could see uncivil law from the moon. Why does he need a camera? Damn. Buttery Goodness says, sorry, Nick, you have nothing clever to say. Keep doing what you're doing, boss. Hey, thank you. DCV Titan says, forget dropping the class. Leave any fucking university that hires these worthless professors who learn more through self-study. Cryptos Chaos, thank you for the donation. DCV Titan says, physics really does need to explain how the shaman call the lightning. Also, it needs to explain how to turn lead into gold, and melanin makes you smart. Uriah Wright says, land whale, go! Angry Bellsprout says, I'm in Texas, which is a right to work, but would this BS work towards improper termination or something? 1.5 years into it. Fuck, I don't know what you're talking about, Angry Bellsprout. Send me an email. Angry Bellsprout, I'm sorry I did not get to your chat. Send me an email, and I can give you an answer. Breck Nichols says, positivity activist, lol. Not applicable says, she has to beep when backing up to warn people around her. Bryce Johnson says, be quiet, bone bag. Shirt swimmers rule the pool. Snuggle Struggle says, you should peek at the class action lawsuit against the UFC for holding a monopoly upon the sport. The goal, recovering money for some 1,200 people. UFC doesn't hold a monopoly, though. There are plenty of other. There's Elite XC, which was sponsored by Showtime. I think that failed. There's Strike Force. There's Bare Knuckle Boxing. There's some other ones. CJ says, I'd pay-per-view for a Jarbo/DeFranco MMA or slap fight. Skeetney says, just want to remind the chat that Ethan Klein wore blackface and used the N-word in a derogatory way and mentally abused Shoonies. Shoonies? Susan supports him. Mario Kart 13 says, cuck action lawsuit, one guy suing everybody. Matt K says, just watch the full fight. Thanks, Mike. The gray one says, hey, Nick, sorry I'm late with this. Had a few calls. Thank you, man. And I can confirm my sandwich was proper. What you were subjected to was horror. Delacourt says, why does it feel like political tactics have been injected into law at this point? Half of this feels like political style doublespeak. It's just because the politicians learn from the lawyers. That's why. Delacourt says, this is the best stream since sliced mayonnaise. Mulfiard says, your sandwich makes me want to tell the story of how a buddy of mine ordered a quesadilla and they cut it backwards so it fell apart immediately. How do you fuck up a quesadilla? You just fold a tortilla over some cheese, you put it in the fucking grill, and then you cut that shit. How do you fail it? God! I'm triggered now. How do you fail a quesadilla? How do you fail it? Malik Foxon says, bread, salt, Nick problem, salt, bread. Mario Carter says, sued by Led Zeppelin. Furby Slayer says, does that Farhad guy's bar number being half of the second attorneys mean he's been around a lot longer too? Yeah. Gummy says, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. You should play it sometime on Twitch. You get to be Phoenix Wright's grandfather and do some 1900s lawyering. God, I cannot think of anything I'd rather do less than play Ace Attorney again. Andrew says, you absolutely would notice if the super lawyers died because law Twitter would cease to exist. Think of the content you miss out on. Good point. Sinan Farouk says, earlobe druid. I haven't super chat in the past month with job cutting hours in university shafting me because they didn't say I owed money. Well, thank you for super chatting today, but please always take care of your personal self before you take care of me. I'm just a dumbass on the internet. Icon of Sin says, never apologize for not selling your soul. Never. Ash B says, Dogecoin is at an all-time high. Buy, you motherfuckers. Well, if it's at an all-time high, I don't know why you'd buy. Jospy says, do you have a take on the GME short going on? Are you invested? I fear like the rich will always win in the end. I am not invested in GameStop because I do not believe in GameStop as a company. I think it's a garbage company. I think it's been a garbage company forever. I have no faith in them I have no faith for them to rebrand or re-strategize. I think that GameStop stock is overvalued even if it's at a penny. I think that the company should go under It's the worst fucking company I can imagine. They would be better off gassing minorities than whatever they do now. Not applicable says, does Baneling seriously get to talk about hygiene? No, not seriously. Phantasmagorical says, my ex walked out after 24 years, 2 kids, house, new car, etc. for a hoe who had 5 kids in custody of none of them. Dumbass. Take a drink for me, Nick. I will. I will take a drink for you, Phantasmagorical. Look, I'm never going to say it's going to work out. It's always a risk. Always a risk. You have to decide if the risk is worth it. Bill Gates is getting a divorce. Buy it. Oh my fucking God. Imagine 130 million. That's going to get split in half. 130 billion. Billion. We're going to have the second richest woman in the world after Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. Look, we're advancing women. We're advancing women. The most advanced women will be the exes of the richest men. Come on, that's fucking funny. Think about it. Think about that. The most achieved women in the fucking planet are literally just the ex-wives of the most achieved men. God damn it. Women are on suicide watch right now. Bill Gates is not attractive. Neither is Melinda. Angry Bellsprout. But anyway, to Phantasmagorical. Oh, shit. Cheers to you, buddy. Sorry to hear about your ex. Angry Bellsprout says, this weekend my reserve unit had our extremism in the military day. What a joke to hear people in uniform compare January 6th to 9/11. But was nice to see how many brought up the year of peaceful protest. I can't even imagine. Except Oprah, that's the... No. You misunderstand. There are billionaire women. But Bill Gates and Mackenzie Bezos, or whatever her fucking name is, Melinda Gates and Mackenzie Bezos, they are going to outdo all of the most successful women. Here's a really sad thought. Not only are they going to they're going to have more net worth than all of the most successful women. They're going to have more net worth than all of the most successful billionaire women combined. Melinda Gates will have more money than every other female billionaire on the planet other than Mackenzie Bezos. And Mackenzie Bezos will have more money than every other female billionaire on the planet than Melinda Gates. It's fucking hilarious to me. I'm dying. Wick Dipper says, would you eat Tess Holliday's pimple excretions to get rid of the family court? Nope. Not a chance. Fuck that. Snuggle Struggle says, the Pentagon is concerned how our troops view the mob, similar to January 6th. What concerns me is how they don't. DC votes 90% blue ticket. They're trapped within their own niche collective echo chamber. Yep, I agree. Anthony Simon says, my mom and dad were married to each other 4 times. First wasn't legal. Divorced when I was 5. Married when I was 7. Divorced when I was 9. Common law at 12. That's a complicated family, brother. Dark Luge G says prenuptial or law. Nah, you think? I think prenups are fine. I think prenups should be a part of just about every marriage today. I don't see any problem with them. Get a prenup. I'll write it for you. I'll only charge you $10,000. Albert Wesker says, "Hi, hey Nick, I'm proposing to my girlfriend on Friday. I subscribe to Local so I can support you until marriage budget starts. Thanks for all the content. Support me after the marriage budget starts and get your wife to listen to the show. She'll love it. She'll love it. She'll love me. Listen, women can't resist the nose. The nose. Look, when women watch the show, all they can picture is the fact that the tip of my nose would hit their cervix. That's it. And they're like, oh God, what would that feel like? No one important says, that's nothing. My little sister once burned a pot of water. Ash B says, did I stutter? Buy Dogecoin, damn it. Mario Carter says, woman wants to get to the top. Get on your knees. Ooh, snuggle struggle. Says, Miss Gates, lawyers were the very same in Bezos' divorce. Yeah, you really would want them. Bezos recovered the money Miss Bezos received not long after the divorce while Miss Bezos took an L. She's given it all away. She gave all her money away and then she married a teacher. How fucking embarrassing is that? Chode motherfucker 69 says, I've had a cunt of a day sitting down having a beer and listening to you talk shit. Keep it up, Cobber. Listen, did you have an inverted sandwich, you motherfucker? Okay, Malik says 1/3 of businesses survive the 10-year mark. 2/3 of marriages survive the 10-year mark. Starting a business is more risky than marriage. Don't know what to tell you. Bad Dragonite says, Nick, just covering for the real reason he didn't stream on the morning of May the 4th. He was marathoning every single Star Wars movie back to back and watched the sequel trilogy twice for the writing. No, seriously, smash my head with a fucking rock in Iran before I watch any Star Wars movies. Bad Dragonite says, speaking of fat fucks, I'm down 20 pounds since the start of April. Team Mercatus flabby arms to the end. Yeah, we have a team of weight loss. I didn't have anything to do with starting it. Whoever started it, you're a fucking champion. I was lazy and didn't do it. Rekka Wronghouse says, dude, you did Phoenix Wright better than anyone I've seen, at least, and your voice for the evil lawyer guy was beautifully done. Your playthrough was and still is the only one I'd watch. So come on, man, play more Phoenix. I choose you, Land Whale. Go. The problem with playing Phoenix Wright is I hate it. I hate it. Jarrell Navarro says, Emmett is too much of a fat pussy to go to court. That's why he started crying to people's parents about their mean tweets. What a fucking beta. Ooey 99 says, how true is Drexel's claim of prenups being useless because a woman can always claim she signed under duress? Very fucking false. Very false. Prenups in 99.99% of cases are effective. It's a thing. Prenups are fine 99% of the time. Showing duress is really, really hard. Really hard to do. And most of you, including me, by the way, if I were single, would not be able to convincingly duress a woman into a prenup. You have to be fucking heavy on that. So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Thanks for listening to my drunken rantings. We'll do something on Twitch in just a minute. I need to get some food. I have a donut waiting for me. I'll show you on Twitch. Twitch.tv/RicadoLaw. If you are not following me on Twitch, follow me so I can do a hot tub stream with a giant fucking pickle or whatever. I'll catch you guys then. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lafroig, the spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we